In a world teeming with supernatural claims, from aliens and ghosts to cryptids, religions, and other unexplained phenomena, enter Captive Desk, that offers a skeptic's perspective. Join us for engaging discussions, opinions, scientific analysis, and a dash of humor as we delve into the unknown, unravel the mysterious, and confront the otherworldly as we seek to distinguish fact from fiction at the Captive Desk.
Hey,
Hello everybody, and hello all the cockroaches out there.
Let's see how this looks.
Before I get a comment that says, "Hey, you spelled it wrong,"
I buried those cockroaches.
All right, that's how I spell it. Okay.
I like cockroach.
Every time I hear it, I go right to Scarface and him saying, he says it several times in the movie. And,
I always say it that way now. Cockroach.
Yeah, the other one had the F-bomb attached to it, so I said, I won't use that one. But yeah. So speaking of, and hey, Ryan, Icarus, Ryan dropping some foots. And hello, everybody else out there. Got a few people joining in there and chiming in too. Appreciate it. Yeah, I came across video. We covered Patrick Peace before, and he likes to say stuff like we scurry away like cockroaches or some kind of nonsense. And we had some fun with it. We had cockroaches all over the place, and I got cockroaches all over the place. I got them all on the walls behind me. We got cockroaches on the background, and sure, we'll have some fun with it. And Patrick just put this video out, and he claims atheists are not atheists; they are anti-theists.
Anti-theists.
I guess some people can take things personally for various reasons. I don't have any personal reasons against anybody. When I did go to church, the folks were nice. There was no shenanigans. I don't have anything against these people personally. Okay, I don't know them. I don't know most of the people. I mean, I know some Christians, but I don't know all of them. So, we always like to say, especially Saturday night at the Atheists, that we're not attacking the person, we're attacking the arguments. Okay?
Yeah.
And so once again, we're gonna take a real quick look at this argument then, and give because I was watching it, and when I start talking back to the video, that's when I know I got to make a video, right? I'm like, okay, I got something to say, so. Let's get right into it and see what Patrick's got to say.
Hello, dear friends. Patrick here, June 20, 2025, Friday. Happy Friday. Hope you're doing well. Hope the weather's nice wherever you are. It's beautiful. And
for some reason, he likes to always start his video with the date and the weather and everything. Okay, that's all good. Yeah, we got cockroaches everywhere.
Yeah, I see cockroaches all over his chair.
I got carried away. I was like, I'll copy another one in. I'll copy another one in.
Yeah.
Summer day here today. Solstice tomorrow, I guess. First day of summer. I was chatting with a friend of mine who's an atheist recently.
Oh boy.
And we get along. The topic of God or religion mostly never comes up. But on this one occasion, I did ask him. I said, I know said that you're not a believer, that you're an atheist. But tell me, what do you think about all this, religion or Jesus or any, the history of Jesus, any of that stuff?
Well, he's an atheist, so
Yeah.
he doesn't believe that.
So it's all bullshit.
Simple answer, right? Hello, Chris. How you doing? And we got the trusty ape. How you doing?
Trust the ape.
So yeah, that would have been real simple for me to answer, because I not only include that atheists do not believe in God, but I take the extended version to carry it across the supernatural because I'm a skeptic as well. So I don't play favorites. If it's a palm reader or if it's a God, I take the same approach, right? Demonstrate it, okay? And you can't. So it's fair game, whatever it is. But just so you know, Patrick, I'm not picking on any one religion. All religions, palm readers, speaking to the beyond, fortune tellers, whatever, all down the list, right?
Oh, there's a new one I just came across this morning. Apparently, people are finding God in ChatGPT.
Sure.
And there's a video.
And there's demons too.
Yeah, our thumbnail says this is bad, and ChatGPT is becoming a religion. I'll post it here. And
All right.
the thing is that after watching this, I don't have a whole lot of hope for the human race anymore, and I'm really glad I'm old and I'm going to die soon, because we are so screwed. I mean, if we get rid of one thing, one religion, just some other crazier crap is going to pop up, and it's like, fuck you humans, all of you. I'm tired of you. I'm out of here. Anyway.
Yeah, the ape caught it too, Mike.
Oh, yeah, okay. I just get a little, I'm just tired of this bullshit and more bullshit and more bullshit.
Oh, I get disappointed too, and that's something I share with like Bree, right? She wanted to believe, you know what I mean? But it just didn't pan out, right? And I've said a million times, I would love to fly around or speak to somebody in the beyond or something, or whatever you want to do, whatever your claim is. I think that would be neat. I'm not like, oh, first thing I think when somebody makes a claim is, that would be neat, right? I could just fly around, or I could just have a pizza appear in front of me, and then have all the, the garbage just disappear, and the lawn needs mowed. Okay, there it is. Wave my hand. The lawn is mowed. The bushes are trimmed. These things would be great, wouldn't it? Sure.
It would be great. But the other thing about that ChatGPT thing is I use it for 4 hours today. And what I'm working in genomics, right? Mm-hmm. And I use it for education, and I use it to understand the world and science. And we got these idiots out there using it for some kind of like girlfriend or religious advisor, or like, fucking stop it. It's like you're wasting energy. You're wasting ChatGPT. I mean, it's a tool that is really useful for people who want to do serious education and research. And they're using it for all this crazy ass stuff. It's like, stop it. It's like, it just drives me nuts.
Well, Icarus says you need to hang around for a little bit because we need you.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll stick around for a little while, but don't piss me off anymore.
You're gonna outlive all of us. I said before.
Yeah.
Mike will be streaming. So I sure miss talking to Dave and Scott and everybody. Get off my lawn, stupid raccoons. I used to feed you,
Anyway.
And Wesley's dropping in, giving us his words. And
hey, Wesley.
Like I say, Wesley, just keep it chill on the spamming, all right? I don't mind if you make a comment. Okay? All right. Yeah, good to see a tilting windmill. everybody. I didn't. Hello, everybody. And yeah, we're taking a look at Patrick Peace, and we're having some fun with the cockroaches because, well, you'll see why.
And he looks at me and says, Pat, I never think about it.
See?
No,
What do you
so
think about
sad.
God and all this as an atheist? Like, well, I don't think about it. It's
I
like,
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think about it. I mean, when we're doing these kind of videos, we're talking about it, and we have thought about it, but it's not a rethinking of the same thing, which is when we point out you need a new argument, because repeating the kalam or whatever you want to do isn't going to work the 50th time, right? What's up? Krista says, I admit that I fall under the anti-theists because I consider all religion mythologies, but theists turn around and interpret it as us wanting to persecute them. Yeah, it's a back and forth, but
Yeah, it's not personal. It's anti-theist, anti-theismist, sort of.
theist.
But
Yeah,
we're not we're not against the theists themselves, but we're just against the damn idea.
Mike and I met at Bread of Life's channel.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we were over there talking with Bread of Life, and then we were in a she invited us into a private thing. So we were doing the little private thing too with Mr. Stabby.
Yeah.
And he goes to heaven. People go to jail, do all these horrendous things, and they find Jesus, they got to pass right up to the front of the line, right? And I'm like, oh, great, we spent eternity with Mr. Stabby. And it was funny and everything. And then I started going over and watching Mike and everything. And then that's where I also met Bree, because Bree was frequently on over at there mentioning something, and it was Bigfoot. My ears perk up. And so, that's how the branching worked. And it all goes back to, we were on a Christian channel talking with a Christian. We were being nice. We would say what we had to say, but we were nice and everything. Hello, Rochelle. And yeah, hello, fellow cockroaches.
That whole thing had a pretty neat arc. There was, I think it was Rebecca's husband actually said something along the lines of that I really get it as far as spiritualism, and she had to tell him I was an atheist. And I'm pretty sure that happened. And then Rebecca, like, I reached out to her recently and asked if she wanted to talk about evolution and spiritual, matters. And she said, I'll talk to you about evolution, but I don't want to talk to you about spiritual stuff anymore, because she just doesn't want to. And she did a thing yesterday where she was apologizing for the evil in the Bible. And she was doing, like, she was just running around like crazy with moral relativism and cultural relativism and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I was trying to follow her whole thesis. And she made one good point about God not being able to impose the way Jesus wanted us to be, because that would be oppressive, right? We have to elect or will to be more like Jesus. Now, if God forced us to be like that or made it a law, then it would be oppressive. I don't know, but it was amazing. She was saying that basically, the reason that God was telling them to kill everybody back then is because that was culturally acceptable back then.
Right.
It's like, yeah. And, take the wives and, kill the husbands and take the wives and the little ones. That was all culture.
And same with slavery, right?
Yeah.
Well, that was, but.
Yeah, it was okay.
If we figured out, well, we probably shouldn't do that. How many, it took a long time, but we figured, that's not cool, owning other human beings, right? Yeah. But God didn't seem to be too concerned about it. It's like, could have mentioned it like first commandment: don't own other people.
She implied that when God wrote it, right, he was appealing to the culture of the day. Well, in that case, why didn't God come out with a second and third and fourth edition? And why isn't there an edition for the 20th century? It's just like, so I didn't really understand her apologizing for God is what she was doing, and it was like really, it's worth a listen because it really gives you a real feel for what a conundrum these Christians have themselves in.
Yeah, and historically, we can understand it, right? We can understand, these cultures adopted slavery for various reasons, and you can explain it historically, but then you can also see that one by one, a lot of cultures decided to stop doing that, right? It was in New Testament too. Jesus says, "Slaves, obey your masters." He didn't say, "Hey, man, quit owning people." Didn't say that.
People. Quit killing people. Okay, Patrick.
He says, I said, well, what, I'm trying to get at him, and I'm paraphrasing the conversation here. I'm trying to get at really what makes him tick, because I get a lot of feedback on my channel sometimes.
Hi, Patrick.
I bet he does. I bet he does get a lot of feedback.
Well, we're here with Mike, and Mike is the only atheist that Patrick respects or something. He made a video about you.
Oh, did he? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So
I have no idea why, but anyway.
From so-called atheists.
So-called
he says,
atheists.
I just believe live and let live. Do good to those that are good to you, and try and be nice to everybody. And he says, if there's some universal force out there, that's fine. But he says, I don't believe in anything. I don't believe in any religion. I don't believe in any of that. And I was, and he kind of, was like, how does that strike you, kind of thing. And I couldn't think of anything to say except where Jesus said that he didn't come to call the righteous. I said, well, then sounds like you're pretty righteous to me. And this guy is, the nicest guy that I know, probably, right?
So that's kind of saying that if you're a good person, then you're already good with Jesus.
I don't know. Yeah.
So Jesus didn't come. Yeah, he didn't come to call the righteous, is what he's saying. Jesus was asked, why do you hang around with a certain crowd or whatever? And he responded that the sick need a doctor or something like that, right? The healthy don't need me, right? In other words, I'm already good with these people, I have to get over here and reach these people. So this is, Patrick's kind of giving a pass to it here that, okay, well, if you're good, Jesus is cool with you. And it's like, then I don't have a problem with Jesus if, he was trying to speak out about things, just like we were just discussing earlier with my wife. I said, people speaking out and everything, people should do that. And if they saw injustices back then, and Jesus seemed to have, then he was speaking out. Well, good for him, right? So, I'm good with that.
And I said, Jesus didn't come to call the righteous. So there you go.
Right.
I happen to be a wicked sinner. I know that I need a savior.
Well, see, now that doesn't speak too highly of you. You
No,
just
he's
said, my atheist friend seems like a good guy, but I'm a wicked sinner.
Yeah. What the hell?
Okay,
Patrick.
Right.
But good for you. And I thanked him for clarifying. I said, thank you for clarifying that for me, because I often wondered. I see you. You're a very humble guy. You're very quiet. You don't try and hog the conversation in public or any of that kind of stuff. Very, very gentle soul, I guess you could say. And so when I think of an atheist, I think of this guy, friend of mine. I'm not going to use his real name, but nice guy. And so when I think about
Well, it's good that you have an atheist friend.
Yeah.
atheists that crawl out of the cracks and crevices of the internet.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
I buried those cockroaches!
Here it comes. And yes, I'm going to play that clip because I set it up and everything.
Comment on my channel. Sometimes I'm malicious towards them. I call them roaches or cockroaches or
Yeah, you do.
Mhm.
And that's why
But
we got
just-
cockroaches everywhere.
Yeah, I wonder what his friend thinks of that.
Yeah, but let me see. I'll pop mine up here for a second. There you go. You can see, you get the close up. Cockroaches
Oh, no.
everywhere. I got them, and I got them on the ceiling. It's giving me the creeps.
Some of them look like spiders. I don't know.
I could be, all kind of bugs.
Okay.
other nasty names. And
Other nasty names like scumbags. Yeah, I remember.
it gets a rise out of them, right? They always use that. Oh, you're showing your true colors. Oh, you're.
I mean, if you're kind of being a jerk or something, it might not be a way to win people to come hang out with you at church. Just
Right.
saying.
You're evil. Tell me something I didn't know. So,
But see, we're laughing about it. We're having a good time here, right? We're gonna work on Patrick here. We're gonna get him a little nicer.
but the fact of the matter is that I wouldn't consider the people that comment on my channel as atheists per se. They are anti-theists. They are.
And did you ask him?
Yeah.
I mean, if you asked me again, I don't like anti-theist because it makes it sound personal. So I'd say anti-theism. I have issues with religions. That again doesn't make it personal because a lot of us know a lot of folks that used to believe in a religion, now they don't. So it's not personal. It's your belief, your argument, or whatever you're presenting. If you say you can walk through walls, then I want to see you walk through the wall, okay? And not, leave damage I have to fix with some new plaster. Not talking about that, okay? You just melt right through my wall and appear outside, come back around to the door. Hey, okay.
Anti-God. A genuine atheist is not going to.
If you're an atheist, you're not anti-God, Patrick. See, this is what I'm doing when I'm watching this video. I'm sitting here going, no, Patrick. You have to back up again. The person is an atheist, all right? Then anything they say about God is talking about arguments or the religious texts or whatever they're talking about. They don't believe in God, and that makes them not an atheist or mad at
Right.
God or all those other things. Hey Ryan, how you doing? Look at the trees. How you doing, trees? Good to see you. What are folks saying? Anti-theist is more personal than anti-theism. Anti-theist is the person. Anti-theism is the thing. Yeah.
And a misotheist believe in God but hate him. Okay.
That's right.
That's good.
That's a word that I have learned recently as well. But whenever they bring up atheists have some issue with God, if you have an issue with God, you're a meso or misotheist. And that's where, right there. Meso or meso, however they pronounce it. Yep, I've learned that one, and that's a good word. So guess what? They have a name for it, Patrick.
Get triggered by somebody talking about God or religion or Jesus or so on and so forth.
I'm not getting triggered, Patrick. Are you triggered, Mike?
No. Well,
See, we're pretty mellow here. We're not triggered.
I don't know.
If we're triggered, we'll let you know.
I'm a little triggered today.
A little bit.
I don't know. Yeah, a little bit. After watching that AI thing and Brad, yeah, I'm a little triggered. I mean, I'm trying to get over it. I'm trying to mellow out.
Whereas these individuals do, and there's no end to them, right? They're like you turn the light on and they just come scattering or whatever. They're almost always anonymous accounts, almost always.
Really? Not me.
Really? We're not anonymous.
And the ones that aren't, well, you know, you can think of the well-known atheists, right? The adopt the British snobbery, like.
Am I talking British now?
He's going that
Where's
way.
Zach?
He's
Oh,
he
Zach's
went
probably
there.
getting ready. Yeah, Zach's probably getting ready for his show, but we need Zach right now.
You know, the interesting thing is when as Americans, when we listen to a British person that we agree with, we think the accent is really cool and we really like it. But then when we disagree with them, we think of them as British snobbery. That's an interesting American thing. We flip, we turns on a dime there. It's amazing.
And there's there's areas around that whole was it the United Kingdom? There's the whole section of it.
Yeah.
Some of those dialects there are pretty thick. So you get into a certain neighborhood and it's like, are you speaking English?
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, we have it here too.
Well, like I used to go to South Carolina to buy cigarettes, and I'd walk into this thing. It was a tobacco emporium, right? And they had cigarettes with no tax on them, so you get them for $1 a pack. And the tobacco emporium was like the size of a Target, right? But there were all these strange dudes out back with pickup trucks with rifles hanging all over them. And when I'd walk by, they'd say something to me to find out if I was American or not. And I couldn't understand a goddamn word they said. Just nothing. But then if they heard my accent and they realized I was a Yankee, it's like I had to run into the store and run out again because I thought they were going to skin me alive. But I didn't understand the thing they said in South Carolina. I'm not sure what the hell language they were talking, but it was weird. Yeah.
Hey, Katie, how you doing? Good to see you. And did I see Beck? I think I did. If not, hey, what's up, Majestic Beck? We have folks down in the bayou here hunting alligators, and they have subtitles, captioning, whatever, closed captioning, because they're in this country speaking English, and it's really hard to understand them. It is. I love when they talk. I love their accent. And it's funny when people say, I was on a channel overseas one time, and a bunch of people in the comments were saying they liked my accent. And it kind of hit me for the first time, really, that it's like, oh, yeah, I guess I do, right?
Yeah.
The mighty Filbert. How you doing? Good to see you.
Richard Dawkins and Christopher Hitchens and so on. He's dead now, but
even though he's dead now, yeah, he don't talk much anymore.
No,
but we don't adopt a British stuff. I don't know what he's talking about.
What's his name? Sam Harris. Sam Harris adopted this.
Sam Harris isn't British. He speaks.
What did he adopt?
He speaks very well. What's up, left-handed Jedi? Good to see you.
Affectation, this stoicism where he talks like, he's trying to pretend that he's like a guru. You read his book, that was the...
Well, he's a paid speaker.
Yeah.
From what I understood for one of the gigs, he gets like $20,000 as his speaking fee or something like that.
Yeah.
He fills halls, he sells tickets, everybody's happy, he gets paid. So, he speaks pretty well because he's good at it. And that's why people will pay him money to speak. See how that works? Pretty neat.
So what I'm getting here is that if you speak well and you're an atheist, then you're a cockroach.
Well, and he's educated. He's what, neurologist or some kind of
neuroscientist.
Yeah. So sorry if he sounds smart. Maybe Maybe he's just a little bit, a little bit smart.
Maybe he is smart. Yeah.
Sorry if he's, speaking and you don't understand some things or something. I do think he communicates well, but some of the language you might not get or something. That's the thing when you're speaking with smart folks. When doctors start talking and all that, you kind of get lost because they're using words you don't know what. You got to pull a book out and look them up, right?
Yep.
So that's just how it is.
Damn smarty pants.
Smarty pants. Yeah. You know what the problem is?
I buried those cockroaches!
That's what the problem is. Patrick's going to take care of it. He's going to clean house here. That's what he's going to do. Ember, good to see you.
Purpose of him traveling to India to study how to be a guru. And
a guru just means teacher, okay?
To be a guru.
To be a guru, studying to be a guru it's like learning different ways to teach and stuff. That's basically what it is. Okay.
Wait a minute. Sam Harris traveled to India to learn how to be a guru? Is that what he said?
Sure, why not? Why not? I don't know.
Okay, I don't know.
Hey, Ducks Y is here. What's up, Ducks? And is it Pavi or Pavi?
Pavel.
Either way,
Pavi? I think it's Pavel. Pavel D. Pavel.
Pavel D.
I think that's an L. Yeah. Pavel D.
Either way, it's always good to see how folks stopping through.
Like
we got all the best folks stopping through. Appreciate
Ducks
everybody.
Y. We got Ducks
Yeah,
Y.
we kind of just did this. I saw it and I'm like, I need to address this because I was talking back to the video. So here we are, and we're having fun with cockroaches. Standard deviation. Hello. Yep. We missed you. No worries. He's just getting warmed up.
uses that to his advantage, and he uses those phrases that all the atheists parrot like little bubbleheads, there's no hate like Christian love, or as Christopher Hitchens would say, and other famous atheists, and they repeat that over and over again, or
well, it's catchy. It is catchy, right? And hey, we got the mighty Filbert as a new YouTube member. So you know what, mighty Filbert?
Let's rock with the fire in our veins. Rock on till the skies, till the thunder and rain. All hail Bigfoot, the legend, the king. He walks among shadows, the wild spirits sing.
And we also got, wait a minute, quit moving on me. All right, thank you.
Old Joe?
And Jedi has been a member for 2 months. And you know what?
You rock, let's rock with the fire in our veins. Rock on till the skies, till the thunder and rain. All hail Bigfoot, the legend, the king. He walks among shadows, the wild spirits sing.
You all rock. Thank you very much.
So let's see, to sum up here, the atheist cockroach speaks well, sometimes has a British accent, and repeats quotes that are memorable.
Yep.
So that's okay. And that makes us a cockroach.
Ryan, I'm in I get what do you call them? They get sent right to me. I'm in the group or whatever with the AI Bigfoot stuff. So yeah, it comes right. I get it right in my messages. So yeah, I get all the latest ones, and some of them are really, really good. Some of them I think they were thrown together a little quick, but the ones you can tell when they took the time, pretty good, pretty good. I only noticed a few rough cuts here or there. It's getting pretty good. It is. And Nerdy Rodent. Cockroaches are cool. Yeah, they are. But you know what Patrick's here to do?
I buried those cockroaches!
His famous one that gets repeated, I'm surprised I haven't heard it lately, was I just believe in one less God than you do. You don't believe in all these other gods, right? So I just believe in one less God
That's
than you do.
pretty good
He
one.
says it.
Yep, that's why Christians used to be called atheists by, I think, the Romans,
Yeah.
because they didn't believe in their gods. See how that works? See? It's pretty easy, isn't it, Patrick? You don't believe in their gods. We don't believe in your God. See? That's it.
In this manner, right? And so, you know, he don't forget he lost his stoicism when he took a hero's dose of psilocybin. Ask him then when he cried out to God, and asked him.
Who's this?
Who took a heroic dose?
I don't
Is
know.
this still Sam Harris?
Sam Harris took it, and he cried out to God. Well, I do that. You know, I do that, right? I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, right in the middle of the mushroom thing. I mean, I can understand that. You always cry out. It's like, holy shit, stop it.
Let's see. Old Joe stopping in. Hey, old Joe, good to see you. And Answers in Atheism too. How we doing? Hey, we're doing all right, Joe. Good to see you. Yep, that's just checking here. Yeah, Mike posted a link. There you go. That's in the chat.
Yeah, that's bread 11. Hey, you know what I'm gonna do tomorrow? I'm going four-wheeling up in northern Minnesota again, and then on Thursday, I'm going to go into the bog. I'm going to walk around in the bog. So if you don't hear from me again, I fell through.
Yeah, there's compilation videos with people getting stuck and trying to get them out. It's pretty funny. Be careful.
Yeah.
Not to lose his brain function because he thought he was going to go insane. He was so high, he thought he was never going to come out of that mental chaotic.
Okay, so he was way too high and he was talking crazy stuff. All right.
Yeah, and then you say, Holy Mary, Mother of God, right in the middle of it all the time, every single time.
He had gotten himself into. So
Yeah.
there's a story for Sam Harris for you. Or ask him why he lost any sense of credibility or mental acuity when he went full Trump derangement syndrome.
What?
The Orange Menace is truly a moron. I don't know what else to say.
Is Patrick Peace a Trumper?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a surprise.
Oh, yeah.
Surprise.
See some of the statements that he made when he just lost it, right?
Oh, he just lost it. You want to talk about magnets don't work when they get wet?
Oh, yeah, So,
changing the storm path with a Sharpie.
So the president of the United States thinks that magnets short out when they get wet, like an iPhone, right? Like dropping your phone into water. He thinks that he actually believes he's like, what is he, 70 something?
79.
And he thinks magnets short out when you put them in water.
Well,
this man,
he was speaking. I heard him interviewing with one of the Harris Cup. With one of the, they have the different admirals that are in charge of the different fleets in the Navy,
Yeah.
And he was speaking to one of them, and he was asking him about, he says, I'm worried about all these digital things being on our aircraft carriers. He said, because, electronics and water don't mix.
Oh, no.
And I'm thinking, my uncle used to have a little, decent size old fishing boat, right? Had an inboard motor on it. And you know what? All that stuff's waterproofed.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I think the Navy might have figured that out too. But yeah, he's like he just figured out, electronics aren't good when they get wet.
So he thinks you can down a plane with a garden hose, right?
Yeah. A little bit of rain and our Navy's just out of commission.
Yeah, just out of it.
All
right?
done.
Don't rain.
There's a lot of room to say, and we can go all day. I mean, somebody just posted one of his recent truth posts where he misspelled his own name in it.
Yeah, Donacold or whatever.
Donacold or something.
Yeah, Donacold. Yeah, well, that happens. So
I misspell my name all the time.
Far worse than that. Yeah.
I have to make sure it says Dave every time I get on.
Or look at Richard Dawkins, the pillar himself, who as a child.
The pillar?
The pillar.
The pillar of what?
Pillar of the Horseman, I guess, or something.
I don't know what the hell.
Hey, Jess, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, jet fuel and water don't mix well either. Could cause some problems.
No,
and they might want to, figure that out, right?
Yeah.
Like,
what is
it?
They can use steam engines in those planes and no electronics, just all manual.
Yeah, well, we're going from World War I into World War II and stuff, where they started making all the steel ships and everything, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, they haven't got it figured out yet. Luckily, we have Orange Man to let them know.
Yeah. He's so smart.
Prayed to God because he got separated from his mom at too early an age, went to a boarding school, and he prayed and asked God to make the den mother that was there, that he, obviously was.
So he's picking apart one of Richard Dawkins' anecdotes about something from his childhood. He lost his mother or whatever. Well, okay, so what?
Begging her to be his mother. He had lost the love of his mother too early, and he was traumatized by that. And he prayed to God, "Oh God, please make this woman my mother." And God never answered his prayer, and so he's.
Well, that's when you ask people questions or they write autobiographies. These are the kind of anecdotes they put in there. Things that happened to them, all these different things go into these books, and this was one of them that he admits that he really prayed for somebody, a new mom. That's what he wanted, a new mom. And breaks your heart thinking about the little kid wanting a new mom, doesn't it?
But smart Christians, I mean, Dawkins, that's pretty dumb of him. Smart Christians, they pray and nothing happens, and they just keep praying. But, some kids pray and nothing happens, and they say, "What the hell is this?"
Happen.
Yeah.
And Jackie wants to know cockroaches. Oh yeah, we got cockroaches because Patrick likes calling us cockroaches, although he's got it backwards because they scurry when the light comes on, and he says when the light comes on, they all come out. So he's got it kind of backwards.
Yeah.
But we've had fun with Patrick before with the cockroaches, and so this time I went a little overboard. I put cockroaches on everything.
I buried those cockroaches.
And Patrick's here to.
I watch that movie about every 5 years. To remind me.
It's a good movie. It is a good movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're having fun with it because we've had a little back and forth with Patrick before, and again, we're just having some fun here. It's nothing personal, and I'm sure he's been laughing in it too. So I think he's all right with a little back and forth.
Basically spent the rest of his life trying to get revenge on God. See, Richard Dawkins.
Hold on.
What?
Wait, Patrick. Big leap. Big leap. Big
revenge.
leap.
Maybe he spent the rest of his life not believing in God.
Yeah.
It's a different thing than getting revenge on something you don't believe in.
And obviously, he immersed himself in learning a lot of science, and he went on to become a professor or whatever, and an author, and he said some stupid stuff here and there, but a lot of us can. Oops.
When I was,
but as far as being, he went on, to be a scientist, and a lot of these accomplished scientists, they don't believe in God either.
when I was 8, I sent this real heartfelt letter to Santa Claus for a 1200 power microscope, and I didn't get it. And I spent the rest of my life trying to get revenge on Santa Claus.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing Jess coming up. The ARC protest is coming up, and if you didn't know, I'm going. I got my room, and I might meet up with Dan when I'm down there too. So we're gonna see about that. That'd be really cool. And yeah, there he is. Speaking of the Kentucky Atheist, organizing with Jess and many others, put together the ARC protest coming up July 6th.
I'm going to hate myself for not going.
Not everybody can. I called in on Skeptic Haven, I think, is it the other night? Neil and Godless Engineer were on there. So it was kind of a quiet time. So I said, I'll pop on real quick, say hi. So I hopped on. I said hi to Neil and said hi to Godless Engineer. And he's going to be there. Him and his missus were both talking about it, KC. So I guess they're going to be there, confirmed. Godless Granny said she's got her room. But Neil, Neil can't make the trip, but that's all good. Neil did say they've got a Bigfoot statue up there by him. And if I'm ever up by his area, which is the Pacific Northwest up into Canada there, he's in Canada up there. I said, oh yeah, you'd be the first one I call, Neil. Go check out the Bigfoot statue. Heck yeah. So Neil's in Bigfoot territory, so that's pretty cool. Ember might be able to show up. Well, that'd be awesome, Ember. Magic Zoo Boat time's coming up fast.
Is an anti-theist. He's not an atheist. He's an anti-theist, and there's a big difference. An atheist could be a very nice person. You could be living next to atheists, and they might be great neighbors and moral people and all that kind of stuff. But an anti-theist is a different animal altogether. And an anti-theist is also anti-human because they hate any reflection of God in humanity. The greatest tragedy.
Wow, you're making another big leap. All of a sudden, they hate everybody, and I'm sure you've been on it, Joe. The ARC protest is coming up very soon. We've got there you go, Tilting Windmill dropping the Magic Zoo boats all over the place. Yeah, it never gets old. Magic Zoo boat. I'm gonna be able to see the Magic Zoo boat, like up on the hill or whatever, maybe over the trees or something. Oh, I still can't believe I'm gonna be that close to Ken Ham. It's just, you think that all these cockroaches give you the creeps? Let me tell you.
Are you going to do the ARC? Are you going to go?
I don't have any desire to do it. I mean,
if I went there, I would go. I would definitely go through the ARC, and
I don't know.
I'd probably burn. I'd probably start fires if I walked into that place.
It's
spontaneously combust.
Well, so many people have gone. Gutsick Gibbon, Erica, she went with her mom.
Yeah,
and was it Dillahunty and Seth and all them went together, and there's so many videos of both places, and so I don't know if I just want to do all the walking to see something I already saw in a video, and yeah, I'd be laughing, so they might not appreciate it. I mean, somebody said something about it, and I don't want to say who or what or anything, but somebody was talking to somebody that had gone to the ark, and they said something. Oh, well, they got all these explanations for everything and stuff. And I said, yeah, they do. Like a dinosaur on a treadmill running buckets of dookie up out of the ark.
Yeah,
that's their explanations. Okay, it's not.
It's so absurd. If I went there, I'd get a T-shirt that had plastered on it in giant letters, "Evolutionist." So everybody knows.
Yeah, well, you never know, Ember. In the past, some of the people have come out. I think Tim Chafee and some of them came out and talked to people before. I don't know. You never know. If any of the big names or anything are going to come out, I doubt that.
Tragedies of history have been performed by anti-theists, atheistic doctrine, the Cultural Revolution that killed 100 million people.
Oh, here we go. Once again, it's not related to atheism. Even if atheists do a bunch of stuff, then those atheists are doing bad stuff. It doesn't correlate to being an atheist.
Lenin, the
Yeah.
torturous killings in Cambodia, when
Terrible.
a human being goes against God and wants to destroy God's creation, that's your result. This is
Wasn't there a lot of genocides in the Bible?
Yeah.
I seem to recall that.
Yep.
Might want to reread it, Patrick. God said, go wipe them people out. Now, when these awful regimes have done it, that's bad. But it has nothing to do with me being an atheist.
is why I don't like atheism. This is
And again, I see, Patrick, I'm not making it personal against Christianity. I think Christianity is ridiculous because like stuff like magic zoo boats, okay? But it's not personal because, again, I know people that used to believe that magic zoo boat, and now they don't. They do not believe in the magic zoo boat anymore. So, just saying. Ember dropping emojis. Hey, Ember.
Well, the shirt
emojis.
needs a T-Rex poking a Jeebus fish with a stick with the words, come on, evolve.
That's a good one.
That's a good
Hello,
shirt.
Jen. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Something about Hovind banned from YouTube. Yeah, I know. He's trying to creep back in again. So maybe Gutsick Gibbon will hear about it. I'm just not saying nothing. Just
If you've been banned from YouTube 10 times in your life, and you're religious, you may want to go talk to your minister and ask him, what am I doing wrong?
Zap says you guys are definitely not informed. I'm informed about some things. We're very well informed about cockroaches.
Yeah.
is why I think that having a responsibility towards God, towards the moral instructions from God, is a better way to live and think and act.
I'll grant you there's some good words in the Bible, but there's a lot of bad words in the Bible.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I don't think it does any good.
And behave. That gives you a responsibility towards the creation. It gives you a responsibility towards
No, it
your fellow
doesn't.
human beings.
No, it
That is
doesn't.
not there in atheism. And
No, it doesn't. Because once again, on a whim, Yahweh can say, wipe them out. I don't like them anymore. I want that land over there. I want you to be on that land over there. These are the whims of Yahweh. Right? There is no standard. It's on a whim. And then when he gets really, really ticked off, He might drop fireballs on a city and destroy it. And then he might say, that wasn't good enough. And then he says, build a magic zoo boat because I'm going to wipe everything else out. And then he didn't leave us no gopher wood. No gopher wood. I mean, he could have left us gopher wood. We could have really used it. That's some good stuff. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier, Tilting Windmill, that, Gut6 taking on tour. I just saw James Tour was on with Stephen Meyer. I have to think, who's the bad hair guy? Stephen Meyer. And James Tour just had a video out I saw too. We should make a compilation of all the tour takedowns. Erica, Grayson, Professor Dave. Call it the tour. I love it. My favorite one is when he was saying that when he goes to conferences and stuff like that now, he notices that people are pointing and laughing at him.
Yeah.
His peers are pointing and laughing at him, and he was bothered by it. It's like, maybe that's a hint.
Anybody's old enough to remember, is it Jack Webb from Dragnet? Was that his name?
Something like that.
Dragnet? Yeah, he reminds me of James Tour. Those two, I think, are like father and son. So anyway, yeah.
Tour Squared.
Yeah.
Torture.
Webb's mission was to bring the Bible to sitcoms, basically, or to bring morality to sitcoms, whatever. He was a
facts,
piece of
man.
work. He was a piece of work.
I can hear the atheists now out there. Oh, our morality is better than yours. The morality of the Bible is horrible, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think the average person on the streets morality is better than things in the Bible. Again, you can find some good words in the Bible, but you can find atrocities. So again, it's on the whim of Yahweh. Now, Mike was saying earlier, and I've heard the apologists say it too, that anything Yahweh does is good, even if we see it as bad, because somehow there's an ultimate good out of it. So ultimately, yeah, you can just say, well, God works in mysterious ways. Okay.
The morality of all these stories in the Bible is so bad, and God is evil, and the problem of evil, and they go, they're just like they're chasing their tail. Reminds me of,
they're pointing out awful things in the Bible. Terrible, awful things, awful stories. Yeah.
When a guy comes up and says, what about amputees? You see, I share a story in a.
Oh, what about amputees? What? Okay. I don't think Jesus healed amputees, did he?
I don't know.
He healed the lame, right?
Not the amputee.
I don't remember amputees. Correct me if I'm wrong. Hello, Tori. Good to see you.
That costs extra to get the amputee.
Oh, that's extra?
Yeah, that's extra. That's a premium plan.
Jesus healed what? Lepers and the blind and the deaf and the lame.
Not the amputee.
Yeah, but I don't remember amputees. Maybe I missed that verse. Oops. Sorry about that. Turn my phone dingy down.
Previous video, I shared a story of a guy that had who was an atheist, who had a near-death experience, a miraculous afterlife experience while.
Now wait a minute. See, you're jumping, Patrick. Okay, near death and an afterlife. You're stretching it again. People have near-death so-called experiences, and
means you ain't dead yet.
Yeah, and often includes being pumped full of a lot of drugs because they're trying to resuscitate you. A lot. Remember what you said earlier about, that Sam Harris took a heroic dose. Said God. Well, guess what? When the hospital's pumping you full of all them drugs and adrenaline and this and that, and they're shooting you, and they're shocking you back, and they're pumping the bag, and yeah, you can have a good trip, Patrick, a really good one. And good for modern medicine that they can resuscitate people. But in other cases, people are in the hospital, often very ill, being pumped full of a lot of drugs. Then they have these wild dreams. Yes, indeed.
He was clinically dead, and then they, bring him back to life with CPR and all that stuff.
And a lot of drugs.
And they don't mention anything about his miraculous story. They'll go on to the next talk.
Miraculous, yeah. You saved somebody's life. It's miraculous. It is. Wasn't done with prayer, though, was it, Patrick?
Point, because they are against God, and they want to fight against God in any way they can. So they'll pull out another card and say, "Oh, what about this?
No.
What about?"
No, hello, Oceanus. Good to see you. No, Patrick. You go down to the hospital and say that prayer, and I want to get everybody get up and do a hoppity skip right on out the hospital door. Please do it. Please do it. No, it doesn't work that way. And even the Benny Hinn clowns and all that, they get a chest pain, or they get Ray Comfort had some kind of a kidney stone or something. All of a sudden, the prayer doesn't work for them. They go to the doctor to get fixed up. So, yeah.
About that? What about? It reminds me, Jesus said, "You're like the children in the marketplace. You say, we sang a happy song for you and you didn't dance. We sang a sad song for you, you didn't cry." And
okay.
It's a very short description that Jesus gives, but what does he mean by it? He says, John the Baptist was the greatest man that ever walked the face of the earth before I arrived. He's saying before himself, right?
So this guy was better than Jesus? John the Baptist was better than Jesus. Now, wait a minute. Jesus, the Son of God, God incarnate, is God. John the Baptist is better than Jesus. See, I'm thinking you're a little confused on that. It doesn't sound right, Patrick. And yeah, this is Patrick Peace. And there's Kafai. And he was just talking about, hey, Kafai, did Sam Harris take a heroic dose?
Yeah, this release of
we're just
DMT.
Curious.
The release of DMT when you die, I gotta check that out.
And there's Dane. What's up, Dane? How you doing? Good to see you. And Andrew's in here. Hello, Andrew. Blaster says, miracles never work under laboratory conditions. Why is that? That's the thing. I'm all for it. Okay, and anybody that's had any medical problems, I'm sure they would rather exchange a prayer than for needles and drugs and surgeries and therapies and all that stuff. Sure. Sure. I got a toothache, pray it away. That would be great. It would, but guess what? It doesn't. It gets really, really bad, and then I'm at the dentist going, please do something this time. I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry. And you know what? He gives me a shot. He numbs it all up, fixes it up. Yeah. But give me the prayer. I'm all for it. Doesn't work, Patrick.
Right? Because he was the precursor to the Messiah. So John the Baptist came, and he didn't eat or drink. He, ate honey and locusts and lived in the desert and wore this camel hair thing and all this kind of like a real guru, if you want to call him that, or whatever, a real stoic or a real monk or holy man, whatever you want to call him. He came to deliver a message to turn, repent, and seek peace with God. He instructed the people, that was the first time, apparently, that he instructed the people to be baptized for the remission of sins. No wonder they call him John the Baptist, right?
Yep. And that seems to be borrowed from Egypt and other cultures. I don't know what the magic water does in the magic river. I never understood it. Okay, what's Kafai say? Sam Harris said that if he were religious, he definitely would be interpreted at the direct revelation of the Holy Spirit. That was Sam Harris on the heroic dose. Okay, thank you very much, Kafai. It was brought up, and we were curious. So.
And so
Mother Mary.
Yeah, apparently, if you didn't see it, Patrick earlier said somehow whatever that Sam Harris discredited himself or whatever he did because he's smart and he took a heroic dose and said something about God or something. So, yeah, we were just curious. That's Chris. Still waiting on the but free will part. Oh, I don't remember. It's hard to remember everything he said. I was mostly focused on cockroaches.
Rejected him. Jesus said, you know, this guy came, he didn't eat or drink, and you wouldn't listen to him.
He didn't eat and drink, and you wouldn't listen to him. So if I don't eat or drink something, people should listen to me?
I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What is he talking about?
I don't know.
Okay.
And now I come, and I'm telling you basically the same thing, to repent, the kingdom of God is at hand, and I'm eating and drinking. I'm going to weddings and hanging out with sinners, and you don't listen to me either. So it doesn't matter what they want to attack the messenger.
No, I think you had it right there, and you caught yourself that it doesn't matter because, you were going both ways. Both ways, Patrick. Yeah, okay, it doesn't matter if you eat and drink and be merry, I guess.
And go to weddings and stuff.
Yeah, you having a good time.
Doesn't matter.
Or if you don't have a good time, it doesn't matter. And then I think he caught himself, didn't he?
Yeah, if you're preaching batshit crazy stuff, it doesn't matter whether you eat or drink or don't eat or drink. I don't really care. You're just batshit crazy.
He just said this and that, all these things in the Bible. And then he said, but it doesn't matter. And they said, oops.
It doesn't matter how that message is conveyed. Oh, they'll say, oh, well, what about that? Well, what about that? And it reached a point where Jesus said, if they don't believe the prophets and Moses and the scriptures and the Psalms, if they don't believe that, then they're not going to believe even if someone rises from the dead. That's from Jesus telling this.
That's right, because it's all the same, and there's a question that Moses even existed, and Genesis is not like the first book written in the Bible. It seems to be written much later, and there's a lot of problems with it being Moses. And then it turns out when you talk to some of these folks, there's probably no Abraham, there's probably no Isaac, there's probably, you start going down the list, and they're all like, very few of them, other than people like King David apparently did exist. The rest of you, though, get out of that Bible.
Story of the rich man that died and went to Hades and said, oh, go tell.
Oh, went to Hades and he said, oh,
my relatives that this is a real place. And he said, well, if they don't believe the evidence that is already there, they're not going to believe even if somebody rises from the dead. And
see, there's the problem. Okay, I don't believe Moses, and certainly not any of those stories ever happened. There's no evidence of an Exodus. There's no evidence of a magic zoo boat. There's no evidence of Adam and Eve. On and on and on down the line. So if I don't believe Moses, okay, then I shouldn't also believe these other prophets, because they're probably just spinning a yarn and telling a good story or a horrible story, whichever way it goes. Sometimes both in one. And then I'm not supposed to believe that Jesus rose from the dead either. Yeah, that's a pattern I see. You see the pattern, Mike?
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. Okay, there's no evidence for Moses. There's no evidence of the prophets. There's no evidence of Jesus rising from the dead. Seems consistent through the Bible. And that's why I'm an atheist. Catching on, Patrick? I hope so.
Of course, it was a double meaning because he eventually rose from the dead as a testimony.
Oh, sure he did.
Those that have died and gone before,
Yeah.
and on and on and on. You could spend an
Yeah,
hour
I
on
don't
that
know.
story alone. And so I see these
He just casually like, hey, and all them people rising from the dead, and on and on and on. Oh. Okay. That's supposed to be the big part. You're supposed to go, all these people rose from the dead. And he kind of just, yeah, okay. You don't seem very thrilled about the whole rising from the dead thing.
anti-theists come out of the woodwork every time I post a video. And then I post a video from an atheist, a link to his video, his testimony, and they can't say anything about it. They just say, oh, it was probably a hallucination.
Send me the thing and I'll say something about it, Patrick. Deal? I have community posting now. You can go on my channel, community posting. Put the link on my channel. Under posts, there, community, whatever. They changed the name of it. But you go to that tab, whatever it's called now, and you can post stuff on my channel now. So that's opened up. I click the box. Tilting Windmill and other people have been putting Bigfoot links in there for me. Thank you very much. I appreciate everybody sending me links. And when you send me links, you know how it makes me feel?
You rock, let's rock with the fire in our veins. Rock on till the skies, till the thunder and rain. All hail Bigfoot, the legend, the king. He walks among shadows, the wild spirits sing.
You rock. You all rock. I appreciate the links and everything. YouTube Punk just sent me one the other day too. Appreciate it, YouTube Punk. What was somebody else just sent me something too. Whoever it was, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Robin Webster stopping in. Hello, Robin. Jess was in here too. Looking forward to what's coming up here pretty soon. And Big Bad Mama, good to see you, Big Bad Mama. No evidence for anyone in the Bible before David. See, I told you. Scratch the rest of them. I'm the only one counts. God, I'm just kidding. It's brought up often. How can you not believe in God? You have such a biblical name. Your name's David. It's like, I really don't know why I'm named David. Other than, I think I remember something about if it would have been a girl, it would have been Diane. So maybe they had a D in mind or something. So that's just the way it went. Kafai says, I don't know if you've seen that movie, Get Him to the Greek.
Oh,
They stroke
yeah.
the furry walls on the high dose of psychedelic, or after they smoke a Jeffrey. Tripping, man. There you go, Mike. That's something for you to watch next time.
Yeah.
What reliable method do we use to arrive at the conclusion that people make about these experiences? That's the thing with experiences, If they don't have one, the conclusions are unjustified. That's the thing. I don't deny experiences, but if I don't have it, your experience means nothing to me. Because that's all it is. It can't be described as anything else, and that's why it's described as a personal experience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If it would have to be that, everybody would experience the same way, and then you have a problem that, well, if that's true, then why are there so many religions? Because even those who are believers seem to believe in a bunch of different things instead of just this one thing. That's another problem, that it seems to indicate believers can't decide either. So
Dave,
it was.
I got to bail.
all right.
I just got some news. I'll put it in private chat, but I got to go make a phone call.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'll talk to you later, Mike.
Okay. Bye.
Mike's got to take care of some business there. All right, Mike. Let me see. What's Filbert got to say? I think it was Hitchens that pointed out the resurrections. See, that's what you edit out when you're making videos. Resurrections weren't that big of a deal because, according to the Bible, they were pretty common. Yeah, there's a bunch of people walking around up out of the grave, and all the saints came up, and yeah, see, a bunch of drugs. That's what I was trying to say about, near-death experiences are often related to a lot of drugs because you're usually ill or they're trying to resuscitate you. And there's a lot of drugs, so you might have a really good trip.
It doesn't make sense because it doesn't fit into the way they want to think. They want to be all.
No, it doesn't make any sense. You should have stopped it. It doesn't make any sense. That's the problem. Doesn't make any sense. Magic Zoo Boat, 0 cents. Adam and Eve, 0 cents. Planets before stars, 0 cents. People rising from the dead, 0 cents. Unless you have modern medicine intervening. And see, that's another edit I would have done right there.
Science and my morality is better because I don't believe in fairy tales. That's their.
No, my morality is not better because I don't believe in fairy tales. That. Again, you make these big leaps, Patrick. Speedy Romans. You must smoke a lot of weed. Look at all those roaches. I know we got roaches everywhere. I got carried away, I admit. I got, if you can't see, where's my thing? There we go. I got them. I got cockroaches everywhere. They're on the ceiling everywhere. They're all over the ground and behind here. And Patrick's got them crawling in his furniture there, and they're crawling all over the desk. And once you've done the little Photoshop thing, and you got your bugs, and you just start putting them here and there, and I started putting them everywhere. Because there's been a little back and forth between us and Patrick. We covered him on Saturday night at the Atheists, and we have a little fun with the cockroaches thing, even though Patrick doesn't seem to understand. When you turn on the lights, the cockroaches disappear. He seems to think when you turn on the lights, the cockroaches appear. You got it backwards.
One of the favorite ones, and you start to see these arguments getting repeated over and over and over again. They convince themselves.
Yeah, I'm sick of your bad arguments too. Now you know how I feel, Patrick.
Over and over again that they reject God. But this is not some personal belief they have. This is an active anti-theist view they have, because otherwise they wouldn't come to my channel and comment.
Well, no, it's because you put keywords in your title, and when we go looking for stuff, it comes up. That's how I found Patrick's channel. He puts keywords like atheist or evolution or the Bible or God, or there's these different keywords that we look for when, we're searching for content. Okay. Don't put atheist in the title. You won't have a bunch of atheists showing up making comments. I guarantee.
If they were genuine atheists, like they describe themselves,
there's no real ones.
It would have no meaning to them. I don't go to someone else's channel and say, "Oh, you shouldn't be this because of that. You shouldn't be that."
You can drop a comment, Patrick. I respond to just about all the comments I can. I really try to. People don't always agree, and that's okay.
I'm a retired boomer. I'm doing this as a personal video diary in case I do have descendants or grandchildren that like to know what I was all about or what.
Yeah, same here. That's why I'm responding to this stuff. So my kids and whatever's and other people, we got 20 people watching right now. So about 20 people are hearing me saying this stuff about what you're saying. That's how it works. It goes back and forth.
I thought. And so, you know, I have the time. I like to do reviews on the books that I've read that I found helpful to teach me something new. And of course, my personal faith is very important to me. So this is why I do this channel. I don't do it to monetize it or to get likes or to ask people to subscribe. That really doesn't matter to me. All the videos that I post, I archive and back up in case, you know, they get deleted for whatever reason.
That's a good idea. I save my videos too.
I used to have them automatically uploaded to Rumble, but that feature got...
Oh, no. I wouldn't have guessed that the Trumper has a Rumble account. All right. I could have predicted that. I'd get my crystal ball out. You all send me millions of dollars if I predict that Patrick was on Rumble.
cut off somehow. I don't know why. But I may have to look into that again later to see.
You got cut off a Rumble? What the heck did you post? I got to know.
If I can have a kind of another backup for my channel. Be that as it may, it doesn't really matter. And so, you know, people say, oh, I don't like the way you do this, or I don't like the way that you do that. Or people come along and say, you know, if you want to get viewers, or you shouldn't talk this way.
Yeah, don't listen to those people. You want to do a channel, do what you're doing. Patrick, you do what you're doing, all right? You're making content the way you want to do it. All right, good for you, man. Good for you. Me too.
You know, do I look like a professional videographer that I do?
Do I look like a professional videographer? Nope. I got a green screen and, you know, it's amazing the little fun you can have with it, but that's about it. I got a microphone. I don't have two turntables, so I'm a little short.
Do all this fancy editing and titles and all that, you know. I'm here just talking to you as a...
Yeah, all the fancy editing and titles and everything. I did do a little editing. I put my thing on, you know how I do. I put stuff on the desk, right? That's my thing. And it's cheesy little art that I still use. It's just, you know, a lamp and a microphone and a monitor. And because, you know, I've upgraded it a little bit. Deacon Verdeman helped clean it up and put the, whatever the hell the word is, so I can put the video through it, you know what I mean? And yeah, and I have learned how to, you know, kind of Photoshop bugs. And I made the bugs myself in AI, and then I Photoshopped the bugs, and then I put bugs everywhere. Just a little bit. I can do a little bit. Nothing fancy though.
Human being. And the reason why I want to encourage people to have a faith in God, because I have seen the results of having faith in God. That those people that put their trust in God and Christ in particular end up benefiting. They end up having a strong desire to follow a straight and narrow path. Not that there's...
Be a good person. You don't have to believe in silly stories to be a good person. You can even believe in God. Okay. The biggest problem I have is when somebody tries to give me any arguments for God, and if it's coming from the Bible, all I hear is Magic Zoo Boat, Adam and Eve, creation, it's all mythology. Okay. And then you're going to say, well, if you don't believe that, then I shouldn't believe Jesus rose from the dead. You said it, Patrick. Okay. See, that's exactly why. None of that stuff happened. It's mythology. So somebody rising from the dead, it's also mythology. And I'm more of a Jeffersonian type Bible person, okay? I can see stories are told for good reasons. Stories tried to explain things, you know, all these things, okay? Spiritual questions, what happens after you die, all these things. That's all, but it's not literal. Okay? As soon as you start taking it too literal, like Jesus has to rise from the dead, or I can't be a good person, then it becomes a little worrisome. I can be a good person. I'm not doing anything to anybody right now. I'm sitting here talking to y'all, okay? Not doing anything, having a good time, talking about cockroaches, and no Jesus, okay? And if Jesus did some good things 2,000 years ago, good for you, Jesus. It was 2,000 years ago, Patrick.
Atheists out there that don't have a strong desire to be moral, good people, there are. But you can see the difference between the historical events of people that hated on God, they ended up hating on their fellow humans and trying to wreak havoc.
And see, again, you make this big leap. They hate God. If you said they're atheists, they don't hate God. What's up, Jill? How you doing? Jesus had great hair. Deconverted man. Can't look at the bugs. You're a fellow cockroach. Come on, deconverted man. You should be used to it. We're all cockroaches.
And people will say, oh, well, the National Socialist Party, they were Christians and they caused all this horrendous events in World War II. They didn't act like Christians.
No true Scotsman. There's nothing that says you can't be horrendous and then be forgiven for it. You can still be. There's blasphemy, I think, is the only one that you're out of luck on. Everything else, it doesn't matter. It's what I talked about earlier. That's how I met Mike. We were in that private private chat thing, whatever they call it, private room, and talking about these people. There were awful people, arrested, went to jail. They find Jesus, and there they go, right to heaven. Forget all the horrible things they did to other people.
Show me where it instructs Christians to go and kill a bunch of people. It never says that, right?
Specifically, there's people that are told to go, yes, take people out. Damian Clay. Atheists don't hate God or you. We just think you're wrong. That's right. We always, if we make something personal, or if I make something personal, if I call somebody out like Ken Ham, I will call it out and I will make it personal. I will address the issues they have, because they have personal issues. All right? Your bigotry and stuff like that. Yeah, I might call it out and I will make it personal to that person specifically. But that doesn't happen too often. You run into some jerks and you take care of them. Kind of annoy you, but you point it out.
They're about as close to Christian as a chair is to. Again,
it's no true Scotsman. There's people did all, even you with Trump, the MAGA cult. Well, it doesn't matter if Trump is a horrible person, which they know he is, and he's done horrible things. They know this. But if God's using him, then, it's all good now. Horrible person. Then you say, So if somebody was writing a Bible story about Trump 2,000 or 4,000 years ago, whatever, guess how it would be worded? Oh, the great Trump, anointed by God.
The man in the moon. No, right? It's when people get off track of the instructions of Christ, who also believed.
And again, which instructions? You have to be specific, Patrick, because Jesus said some, what I would call contradictory things. Love everybody, hate everybody. Which one do you do?
In the commandments of Moses, because he references them. And
the 10 commandments, 8 of the 10 commandments carry a death sentence. That's what you want, Patrick?
There are scriptures that have not been found yet. In fact, in the
Oh,
New
good.
Testament, there are references to scripture that are not found.
I can't wait.
Right? And so
I want one from Jesus. I want the one Jesus wrote. Please.
I wouldn't be surprised if someday we find the writings of John the Baptist, for example,
Don't care.
or the writings of other prophets that have been lost to historic time because
No Jesus? You don't want something from Jesus?
they're buried somewhere in the desert. It wouldn't surprise me at all. And so when you see these people come out of the woodwork, they are anti-theists. They are possessed by a demonic influence, and you can see.
Oh. Not the demons. Those darn demons. They just make you do all kind of stuff.
This in the stories of Book of Jasher or the Book of Enoch, where you had these demonic entities and they want to hate on God, and because
Yeah, see that? I'm sorry, it's just stupid. All right? God created these things to hate him. This is the all-powerful, all-knowing, all-loving, supreme being that I'm supposed to bow down to and say, oh, you're so smart. You're so smart. You made things to hate you. Sounds like God has some personal issues.
I am a reflection of that because I put.
You're a reflection of that. Oh, okay.
My faith, belief, trust in God and ask him for direction in my life, then they hate on me. They say,
I'm not hating on you, Patrick. I appreciate the humor. I'm having a good time. Go proceed.
oh, and I just want to clarify here briefly. Most of the comments that you'll see on my channel, those are the mild comments that don't get filtered out.
Oh, what a bummer. You should put up the good ones. Hey, Ed. How you doing? Good to see you. The Rabid Atheist. I'll try and get in and out before you go on. Are you going on today? You go on about an hour, don't you? Thanks for stopping through, Ed. Always good to see you. We're having some fun with some cockroaches today. No toast, although, around here.
We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast.
We love toast.
There's a couple I'll delete here and there because they're filled with stupidity or overly repetitive or who knows what, or if they're spamming and they do too many. But a lot of the comments that come in are so filled with hate that they...
You get some trolls, Patrick, and you invite it because, again, you're making videos saying things about atheists or cockroaches. And then somebody might, call you one back. And then you're like, oh, they're calling me names or something. Yeah, well, get the joke, okay? Now, see, I'm not doing that, okay? I think you believe in some silly things, and I'm not making it personal or anything. I'm not saying you're a bug or anything. I think you're misguided on some things, and I'm really questioning your theology, really. I think all you're stuck on is you just believe in Jesus and you read a few Bible verses. It's kind of odd. But I'm having fun with the cockroaches. In case you didn't notice, I got cockroaches everywhere. Put them all over the background, all over my background, all over this background, and I even put them in your video. Because I couldn't stop. I couldn't help myself. It was so much fun.
They get filtered by YouTube, and YouTube sends you a little message and says, you may not want to post this comment. And
I never got one of those messages. YouTube tells you if you got a spicy comment. Okay. Well, I appreciate people keeping their comments unspicy on my channel.
A vile hatred that some people spew out. Like I'll call atheists cockroaches or scumbags or.
Oh, yes. Well, see, you just calling them cockroaches and scumbags. What? Yeah. Now, I don't advocate violence in any way, shape, or form. I'm anti-violence. I think people should talk things out, right? I'm just a word of advice, Patrick. Not everybody thinks that way. And if you come up to somebody and you start calling them a cockroach and a scumbag, some might happen to your nose or in Minecraft, Don't do that, okay? You're calling people names, Patrick. Now we're having fun with it, all right? And I understand I can take a joke, all right? Not everybody can. And some people might take offense to be calling names. And then they might call you some names back. Just saying. Seems your problem is because you're calling people names first. Don't do that.
Whatever, right? That's nothing. I mean, really, there's nothing. You should see the comments that don't make it there.
I want
so
to.
the people that have commented on my channel,
I want to see
I'm
them.
not hating on you as much as the hate that has come in towards me. I just want you to be aware of that. God bless you.
I think you started
I hear
it,
you.
though.
Yes, I do respond snarky and nasty and
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah. See, you're not owning it, Patrick. You're just not. What's up, John? How you doing? You haven't gotten one of those messages either, Ed? See, I don't know. I don't know what's... Maybe Patrick's making it up. Maybe he's not really getting that spicy of messages. Exaggerating just a little bit, Patrick? Oceanus, I get those kinds of messages all the time. But my give a F ran out. And if somebody is a backwards dipshit, I like to point it out. Yeah, see, that happens. I haven't had much of a problem. The few questionable comments, usually I just say something like, thanks for commenting. And it seems to work pretty good. If they know you're not going to get all stirred up, there's no point, in continuing. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. Hope you dropped a like.
But if your comment is still up there, peace, okay?
I think he left my comments up, and Mike's too. So we'll give you that, Patrick. He left our comments up, I'm pretty sure.
Because it doesn't, it's like water off a back, and have your fun, right? So I want that to be clear, that the real hate, right? And they always say that same phrase over and over again. There's no hate like Christian love. Give me a break, right? You should see some of the hate.
It's a popular phrase, Patrick. I've probably used it a bunch of times too. Yeah, there's no love like Christian hate. You need to think about that a little deeper, all right? Like I just told you. Not all of us are as jovial, okay? Not all of us will say, hey, yeah, that's a good one, right? Back at you. Your mom too, right? Not everybody does that, Patrick. Some people, it gets them a little upset.
Full comments that come in from atheists, right? And even the ones with avatars of Satan and horns and all that. And they... It's from the...
Is B.S. Lewis commenting on your videos? He said this to us before about anonymous or something, and we told him, Patrick, we were on talking about you. and my name's Dave. I don't know what to tell you. I ain't got no devil horns, but I keep them filed down so you can't see.
Pit of hell, man. I mean, it's serious demonic. So there's, obviously there's different levels of that. How much somebody opens themselves up, and how much, we see that examples in the Bible. Some people had a demon or two. Some people were full of demons. Wow. And I think we're seeing the same thing today.
Yeah, and you know what most of those things were attributed to? Things like illnesses, Patrick, right? People didn't know any better. It's a demon, just like people do nowadays. They don't understand something. It must be demonic. Dave needs a GoFundMe for some devil horns. To go through the Halloween stuff, see if I got any. I don't think I got any horns. Maybe. I was going to say B.S. Lewis too. Yeah, I'm wondering. I'll have to go check his comments. Maybe B.S. Lewis was over there. Patrick is as full of it as a Christmas turkey. Atheists get negative. Yeah, again, but see, he's obviously inviting it. I mean, like I said, how I found his page or his channel is because he put atheist in the title. And, when I'm looking around for something to respond to, that's what I put in, is what's in your title up there. And then he says, and then they're responding to me. Well, social media, Patrick. Now, I commend people that leave their comments on. I commend people that can take a joke, take criticism, not block everybody, and but if you don't want to, you can turn comments off. Now, I'll tell you from my experience, a lot of videos I don't respond to doing something like this. I just made a comment. But when the comments are turned off, it often inspires me to make a response video. So, but you can turn the comments off. Although I would say if you're going to call people cockroaches and scumbags, you should be willing to read the comments back when they say something back to you. And if it's bothering you, then maybe some little light bulbs should go on over your head that maybe it's bothering some people. It doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me. I'll laugh. Okay. We can laugh. We can have a beer. I don't drink a lot, but we can have one beer and we can laugh about cockroaches. Okay. Not a problem, but you're going to get some responses. Welcome to social media.
We're spiritual beings. And if somebody does not allow their spirit to connect to God, they are prime prey for demonic forces to come in and take over that mind.
And see, I've heard the opposite. I've heard that believers get taken over or whatever, because there isn't no reason for taking over atheists. We don't believe in God. We don't care what's going on in your spiritual battle. Why would the demons care? Make no sense. So I've heard the arguments, though, that believers get possessed. Non-believers don't. Which, again, make up your minds. What's we got here? Jason Johnson says, atheism is a garbage worldview, but atheists are human beings who also bear the image of God. How come I'm not invisible? Appreciate the comment. Thanks for stopping by.
Say you don't need God. This is why you're better than that. This is why God is evil. And they give all these reasons and excuses and so.
I don't need a demon to tell me that, Patrick. Open that book that you keep talking about. Terrible things in there.
So on and so forth. God had tried to explain himself to Moses, and Moses tried.
Yeah, guys. Yeah, see, they had to try to explain themselves. You shouldn't have to
explain the characteristics of God to the people in a way that they could understand. during that time, and we can interpret it today and still learn.
No, see, that's the problem. You were good up to that point. It was for the people of that time, Patrick. You know what? A lot of those laws in the Holy Land, in the Holy Land, they don't follow those laws anymore. Old, outdated things, Patrick. You were right up to, yes, there's some things in history that I can understand from a historical viewpoint that are described and documented and recorded and all these things, okay? But you can't say God and Jesus are so wonderful when they also supported these things. It doesn't make any sense.
Learn from it today, but the demonic will use those stories and say, look at, God is not good, God is evil. The title of Hitchens' book, right? God is not great, and so on and so forth. And
it wasn't no demons. He was pointing out things in the Bible. You know, I've got Dan Barker's book where he points out what's got to be 100 are in there, some awful verses. I don't remember how many. All kind of awful verses in Dan Barker's book. Yes. Have you read the Bible, Patrick?
the diatribe that Dawkins put forth in his book about God and how he was this and misogynistic and he was a genocidal maniac and on and on and on and on. You know.
Yeah, that's in the beginning of it's the preface in Dan Barker's book. Brutal. And every word of it is true. Every one of those things is Yahweh.
Look at the explanations that Christ gave. Look at how he explained what God is like. Look at how he explained.
Jesus explained things in parables and stuff. He was like the hippie dude. It's in the clouds, man. The Son of God will come. Doesn't mean anything, Patrick. L.A. Silver Surfer is not convinced. I'm not convinced either. Hey, you stay hydrated out in there, John. All right. And let's see. Kafai's talking with Tilting Windmill. All right, having a little discussion. I'm not into it. I missed too much here. Image of God. Why does it need a you-know-what and a you-know-what? And a bunch of you-know-whats? I've used a similar argument when they look how complex the human body is. All the bones and ligaments and blood vessels and nerves and organs and all these things. And I said, well, why? If you can make magic people, just put some magic goo with a skin on there. Right? Give us a face to talk or whatever, I guess. That's all you need. All that stuff, it seems pointless for a god to do. If it's just a magic being, you can just create it like doing AI, right? God just punches in the keyboard. I want Dave to have brown hair and brown eyes and a little fuzz on his chin there. And there you go. That's Dave, right? Why, we joke about sitting at the workbench with the zircon tweezers, putting together cells and everything. Seems a lot of work for God to have to do. And you got all kind of conversation going on there. Good deal. Does God have a navel? Was Bigfoot on Noah's Ark? These are the things we need to know.
That sometimes there's anecdotal stories of amputees being healed. There are. You got to search.
Yeah. Very few and very weak. Yeah.
For them. They're there. There was a man with a withered hand, and Christ said, "Stretch out your hand," and it was restored whole like the other.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's like when they go, look, my fingers are growing. Yeah. I know that one.
study Smith Wigglesworth, some of his
Oh, Wigglesworth.
bizarre,
Sounds good.
crazy miracles of restoration that,
Yeah.
you know.
Bizarre.
But I'm not going to go there because that's
Yeah, you're not going to go there because it's not documented. It's a bunch of nonsense. Limbs don't grow back. That's what, fortunately, prosthetics have come so far recently. I mean, people are, competing in events, running and track and everything with these awesome prosthetics because nobody's getting healed, Patrick. It would be great. It would be great if their legs could be grown back. Right now, we can't do that. But we've got the people out running and competing, Patrick. We've got arms with fingers on them now that are getting sensors and everything and all. Amazing. Jesus didn't do it. John the Baptist didn't do it. Moses didn't do it. And the Magic Zoo boat didn't do it.
playing into that game, saying, "Oh, okay, here, raise the bar here. Oh no, how come nobody's being raised from the dead today? How come nobody's walking on water today?" They'll just go to one step further, like the
How come no one's being raised from the dead? How come a lot of miracles seem to stop happening right about the time photography was invented? Isn't that odd? Right about the time everybody started having cameras, and I'm not just talking about one camera. I'm talking about everybody starts having cameras. There's trail cams everywhere. No Bigfoot. Got some bad pictures of Bigfoot. No good pictures of Bigfoot. Now, I saw an AI video that was hilarious where Bigfoot's, he's over to the side. And he's just kind of going like this, messing with the trail camera. Hilarious, really. So maybe, okay, but no good pictures. And there are cameras on Loch Ness, all kind of other places. People have their own cameras, poking out the window now. You can go see webcams of just about everywhere. Nothing other than some orbs that Bigfoot travels in. That's about it.
children in the marketplace. Oh, how come this? How come that? How come they'll always have a reason to hate on God and to hate on the reasonings of faith, like it.
And we're going to back up again, as mentioned earlier. There's a word for that, Patrick. It's called a miso or a mesotheist. M-I-S-O. Not atheist, a mesotheist. Believes in God, but is mad at it for some reason. Perhaps something bad happened to them, lost a loved one, and they're mad at the God they believe in. It's not an atheist. Christopher says, because your God kind of sucks at being real dude. Yeah, that's, people long time ago, and they like to make fun of evolution, long time ago. And well, a long time ago, there was miracles. Now there aren't any. Bigfoot AI might actually be the most valid use for AI. Oh my goodness. Man, you win the prize.
You rock, let's rock with the fire in our veins. Rock on till the skies, till the thunder and rain. All hail Bigfoot, the legend, the king. He walks among shadows, the wild spirits sing.
Best comment ever. I do enjoy the Bigfoot AIs. As you see, I made one myself.
That's why it's called faith, right? It says unless you become like a little child and put your faith in God, you're not going to enter into God's kingdom. You're not going to be able to see God's kingdom, Christ said. And they can't see.
Man, I'm never going to get through this this video, Patrick. I have to think like the mind of a child to accept the things in the Bible. Are you hearing that, Patrick?
Because they don't want to see, right? They don't want to have any type of responsibility towards being created. They don't want to.
What responsibility do I have to being created? God created me. Thank you. Is that what you want? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. How many times am I supposed to say it, Patrick? God created me. Okay, thank you. Right? Isn't that about it? Do I really have to worship him every day for something I had no control over whatsoever? I mean, for some reason, my mom and dad, was romantic that evening. What God had to do with that? I don't know. It's getting a little strange. I would like to think that my mom and dad were having a good time, and they were genuinely, aroused, and everything was working just all the good ways, and all that was lined up. They were having, they were kissing and all that good stuff, and there was a baby, right? Because that seems to be the best way everything works out, when everybody's having a good time. Make sure she has her good time. Things all kind of work out good. If God was behind all that, well, hey, party on, dude. Thanks a lot.
To allow themselves that humility. And the atheists that are genuine atheists, they have a humility to themselves. Right? Romans says that a man's conscience becomes a law unto himself, and God is able to take him and elevate him and rescue him and bring him into his kingdom through the sacrifice of Christ in spite of himself, whether he's ever heard of Christ or not.
Well, you said earlier that it doesn't matter, Patrick, okay? If you're a good person, then Jesus thinks I'm a good person. So I'm good with your Jesus. How about that?
Think about that. Think about the instructions
I'm
from
thinking
Romans.
hard.
Think about the instructions from Christ.
You hurt my brain,
that
though.
The morality and the plan of salvation of God is bigger than our little.
Yeah, the whole plan of salvation thing is stupid. And I'm not being nice. It's stupid. Stupid. The only way God can forgive you is to have this big, long thing with all these events come, gone, sacrifices come and gone, wars come and gone, Magic Zoo Boat come and gone, still doesn't do it good enough. And then you got to have the whole Jesus thing. And then that's supposed to take away sin or whatever and death. Well, it didn't. We still have sin and death. Stupid. I'm sorry. It's stupid. And it doesn't matter how many times you explain it to me. God has to follow this rule book of sacrifices, wars, all the horrendous things, Magic Zoo Boat. He has to do all these things for this ultimate plan of salvation. Stupid. I don't know what else to say about it.
Religious doctrines that say, oh, unless you say this prayer, oh, you're not really saved, you're not really a Christian. You hear that so often. Yeah, I hate on atheists a lot.
I don't think it has anything to do with what prayer you say. I just saw somebody drop in. Let's farm. I was mowing, missed the note. Hey, I hope you're hydrated, man. Tell you what, I went out, was just doing a few things. Sweat was in my eyes. I couldn't see. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I wasn't even doing anything. Why does Patrick look like a cursed hybrid version of Tim Waltz and John McCain? I see it. I see it. You talking Kafai? You talking religion with Kafai? Kafai loves to talk. It says, studied Romans many times. My conclusion is that Paul was wrong. Well, you know what I have to say about Romans, don't you?
No, 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 no.
I've got a couple of those videos now, Ed. So hope that gets stuck in your head as well. I got sick and tired of hearing Romans, you don't believe in God because he's invisible. And I just heard it for the last time. I'm pulling the age card, right? Pulling the gray hair card, all right? I heard it for the last dang time. That I cannot see the invisible things. And that's my fault. I heard it for the last dang time. So anymore, I just laugh. It's funny now.
But I'll also hate on Christians. They'll say, oh, you're probably not a real Christian. You wouldn't be surprised.
Can you get a Spanish translation? I'll have to look into it. Yeah, I've made a few clips there, and everything, and of course covering Patrick today. If you notice the thumbnail, it says cockroaches, because every time I hear cockroach,
I buried those cockroaches.
I think of Scarface every time. So I made that one right before I did this. And thanks YouTube for having that clip. I didn't have to cut it down or anything. It was ready to just tiny little 4-second thing or something. Yeah, 4 seconds. Appreciate it. Appreciate whoever did that. Yeah, good movie. Definitely a good movie. And with the cockroaches, so now that's just the way I say it. I say cockroaches. It's just become part of my vernacular.
How many times I've heard that from other Christians talking about me, saying, oh, you're probably not saved. You're probably not a real Christian because you said this and you said that. And you used the F word. So Christians will never use the F word, and on and on and on. And all the
see, you can't make up your mind. On and on and on and on and on. How about you all come to an agreement? See, that's another big problem. Y'all can't agree. And then you're trying to tell me again, why don't I get it? You can't agree. What am I supposed to get when you can't agree? I ask one Christian, I ask another Christian. I get two different things. Big Bang, we were just going over the other day. You've got I look it up because this is what I do, looking for content. So you put the keyword in Big Bang, I might find your video, Patrick. So Big Bang. You've got the divided camp. You've got Christians that accept the Big Bang because God did it. And then you've got the Christians that say there was no Big Bang because that's not how God did it. Two huge splits right down. One video, yes. One video, no. One video, yes. One video, no. And then you're like, why don't you get it? And it's like, well, you haven't figured it out yet. Get your story straight. And then if you have a straight story without a lot of the contradictions and all the things that would save us, a lot of time, there's a lot of folks, I know Ed goes through things, a lot of people that go through all the doctrines and all these things. That's a problem. Okay, you shouldn't have all that. You shouldn't need apologetics. You shouldn't need hermeneutics. You shouldn't need a library of books telling you how to read the Bible. That's a problem, Patrick.
other reasons why they'll say I'm not a real Christian, okay? I confess Jesus Christ as Lord. I believe in my heart that God raised him from the dead.
Yep.
I want to share him with people out there because I think that he can make people's lives better. He can give them the strength to love people better. I believe that my life has been better since
Did you repent?
I've gotten into the habit of asking God's mercy on my life on a daily basis.
Did you repent?
Right?
Okay, well, the way I understand it, because you ain't going to get to it, I guess, You have to believe Jesus rose from the dead, and you have to repent of your sins. I didn't hear that part, Patrick. I understand the part you have to believe in Jesus. And see, you're going to discount a big chunk of the Bible that way too, because all you really have to do is believe Jesus rose from the dead and repent of your sins. As far as I know, that's it. Correct me if I'm wrong. And tilting windmill, getting me started here.
We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast.
And I hope you appreciate that. I fixed the ending a little bit there. I like the little, we love toast. And no worries, Wayne's going to be back. Although, Wayne, if you're watching, stop with the AI. Wayne's last video was in AI, in a female sounding AI voice. No, Wayne, don't do that. Don't do that, please. Just do your videos. But this is why I downloaded a bunch of his videos, just in case something like this would happen. So we've got plenty of Wayne to come, and we'll get back to Wayne. Wayne's got some pyramid videos, magic is real videos. He's got some more takedowns. He's got his theory of everything video. Wayne's got a bunch of stuff. So more toast to come, because we do love toast and we appreciate Wayne's content. Wayne, please don't do the AI thing. Okay. We like you just the way you are. You come on there and you say your thing and we respond to it. We like that. Don't mess it up. Okay.
Saying, God, have mercy on me, I'm a sinner. Help me to be a better person. Help me not to hate so much on the atheists. Help me to push them in the direction towards you instead of pushing them away. Because that's so easy to do, right? They'll look at me and say, oh, you're a bad example of a Christian. If you're a Christian, I don't want anything to do with that.
That's a good point, isn't it? Because supposedly we're going to spend eternity with you. So if I don't like you now, why would I want to spend eternity with you? And I'm not saying I don't personally like you. I'm just saying these people that don't like you, okay, when they're seeing you say something like calling us names that I'm laughing about and they're not laughing about it, they're saying, I don't want to spend eternity with this jerk calling me a cockroach and a scumbag. Think about that, Patrick. Aren't you, you will know them by their fruits? Isn't that how the Bible says it? I think you're supposed to act better. I think that's what that means. Maybe. Got a Bible expert out there, you know? Know them by their fruits. So if your fruit is kind of bitter with the way you talk to people, that's not what you're supposed to do, right? I think I got that part right. I'll do a Bible study on it, Patrick. Get a hold of me. We'll do that. We love toast. And Kafai loves toast too. There's just too much toast loving to go on. All right. All right.
We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast.
See the work I put in? All that editing I had to do just for you folks. I do it just for you. And I appreciate all of you. And I hope you are entertained with it. I really do. Because I know some people might find those things obnoxious, and I will use them to an obnoxious level. Demon Orb, how you doing? Good to see you. Jesus says that, Matthew 7:16. That's the fruit one, right? They'll know you by your fruits. So, yeah. And standard deviation, dropping the AI. Answers in atheism toast. Folks, nowhere else are you going to find answers in atheism on toast as an emoji. And don't forget, hit that join button down there. 99 cents. It's the lowest one I can put it on. Sorry. 99 cents, and you can have all the emojis. And when you're a member, it's not just emojis. I do member streams. I've had a couple the last one, everything worked right. Notifications, everything. I think I figured it out. So yeah, I put all this work in. I really do. It's a lot of fun. We have member stream, and I'm not going to give it away because if you're not a member, you need to be a member to know what I'm talking about. But for the members, what we did the last time, that really bad science from that young lady, she's got a part 3. So next members stream, we can take a look at that. And if you want to see or hear some of the worst science ever, become a member. It'll be in a member stream coming up. And you also get early access to videos, all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, if you can, hit the join button. And if you can't, that's cool. You know what? Hit the like button, hit the share button, drop me comments. Means a whole lot to me. All right. Appreciate all of you. We got Geo Sam dropping in. We got Jack dropping in. Let's say you can be both anti-theist and atheist or neither. Sure. I'm both. Yeah. Well, as we were trying to point out, we're trying to get it away from the term of anti-theist to anti-theism, unless you have a specific issue with a theist, because it tends to make things a little personal, and we're trying to put an olive branch out, you know, not too long because we've learned our lesson, but we put out a short olive branch. So try not to get it personal unless it is a personal thing. Patrick here, I ain't got nothing personal with him. I think we could joke around just fine about the cockroach thing, but I was just trying to explain to Patrick that not everybody might think it's as funny as I do.
The same story over again, right? I saw a Christian and I didn't like him, so that's my excuse for not seeking God. So they'll use me or other Christians, or they'll say, "Oh, priests abuse kids, so that's the
That's
reason
a good one.
I'm not going to follow a God like that." How?
Well, maybe not the God, but it may be a good reason not to take your kids to that church. You think? Maybe. Cripes, Patrick. Of course that's a good reason not to go. And those people that have been these terrible things they've all gone through, and then you go, "Oh, well, you shouldn't be mad at God for that?" Sure they can. They could be misotheists. They could be totally pissed at God for allowing that to happen to them. Every right to.
How many school teachers abuse kids?
Shouldn't do
I
that.
did a study on the prevalence
Yeah.
of child
Yeah.
nastiness that
Yeah.
occurs in a profession. What would be number one? People would say, "Oh, it's the priest for sure." They get the most attention.
No, it's not, because there's not that many. But yes, there is a problem with teachers. There is a problem in the military. People are supposed to have honor and duty and all these things, and there's a big problem in the military. Big words, raise your hand, I swear I'm going to be a good soldier, and they ain't. So, yeah. People are terrible, Patrick. And you know where people that are predators gather is where there are groups of people they can prey on. And that includes in a church. Churches are not exempt because the numbers aren't as high. This is whataboutism, Patrick. Well, we don't abuse as many people as the teachers do. Well, good for you. Dang. Disappointing, Patrick. Disappointing. Come on. Pick it up a little. Make me all loud and everything.
Attention in the media, of course, because it's so opposite of what they're supposed to be representing. It's no.
Yeah, imagine that. Abuse in the church is on the news. Imagine that. What's up, Ollie? Elbows up. Good to see you. Yeah, I think that should be on the news. And sadly, it's on the news a lot. There's it's a channel or a page or whatever it is that almost pretty much, I think daily, they put out pastors, priests, rabbis, Sunday school bus drivers, on down the list, every day getting busted. Where's the lightning bolt, Patrick? You want to convince me? I want to see some well-placed lightning bolts, all right? And not after the fact, before the fact.
I wonder it gets a lot of press, and rightly so.
Yeah,
because
good. I'm glad I'm okay. Rightly so. Good. All right, Patrick. Good. We're back on speaking terms. Thank you. Rightly so. It should be brought. Yes. Yes. Okay.
Exposed and rooted out.
Yeah.
But look at the prevalence within the school system that we're seeing today, rampant, or among politicians, school teachers, take your pick, is prevalent across society.
And you know what else is prevalent? Christianity, Patrick. In this country, most people are Christians. Teachers, people in the military. Maybe a similar problem. Maybe.
That's why we need a savior, so that we don't fall into those wicked.
Yeah. No, that's exactly why you need a savior. Because you can screw up and be forgiven for it. And that's why priests figure they can do what they want because they're going to be forgiven for it. And that's why believers can do terrible things and even be kind of a turd on the internet and calling people cockroaches and scumbags because you're going to get away with it. You get forgiven for it. Isn't that convenient? Okay? I have to own it myself. I don't get forgiven for it.
Deeds that occur, right? And on and on and on. You know the story, right?
Yeah, on and on and on and on. You dismiss things a lot when they get kind of serious, don't you, Patrick? Oh, it's just on and on and on. You know, raised from the dead, on and on and on. It sounds like I would talk about it, not you, okay? I would say, yeah, you know, the Bible, a bunch of people raising from the dead, on and on and on, blah, 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 blah. Because I'm joking about it. But you're saying it. Kind of odd, Patrick.
So, although I hate on atheists,
Patrick, did you, wait a minute.
we're seeing today, rampant, or among politicians, school teachers, take your pick, is prevalent across society. That's why we need a savior, so that we don't fall into those wicked deeds that occur, right?
Yeah.
And on and on and on. You know the story,
Okay.
right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
although I hate on
Air quotes, hate on. Okay. See, this is confusing. I wouldn't say I hate you. What does that mean? I hate you. Isn't that quoting you? Am I wrong? Come on, chat. Am I wrong here? If you say, I hate you, isn't that putting an intention on it? Like I really hate you? I don't get it. Okay. I hate you too.
atheists, please understand that it's done with a certain amount of tongue-in-cheek, right?
And I explain it again, Patrick. I get it. I can take a joke. But these other people responding to you that you're getting these nasty comments from are because you started it. Don't do that. You're supposed to be the fruit of the tree, Patrick.
I love atheists as much as the next guy. Probably a lot less, actually.
That's a good one.
Right? I mean,
I feel the same way about those priests and teachers and military and everything else can't freaking control themselves around kids or vulnerable people.
My heart aches for people that have abandoned God, and then you look at their lives a few years later and see the result, that they fall.
And look at the result of people that took their kids to church and now regret it.
Fallen into all kinds of horrible distress. Does it happen with religious people too? Of course, it happens.
Yeah, of course it happens with religious people too. So what did Jesus do for them? That's what I want to see, Patrick. Show up before something happens, not once tragedy happens. Not to console them after whatever tragedy happens. Not to give them a free pass after they were terrible and went to jail and are on death row. Show up before. Doesn't seem to happen. Not enough anyways. Now you can claim, I'll grant you a couple miracles. And then I'll just point back that I find that disgusting, that Jesus did one or two little things and then just told the rest of them, oh, tough for you. Let's see it. Empty out the hospitals. Dude, let me see it. I want to see it. And I'll go to church with you, Patrick, and we'll sing those terrible hymns and all the stuff to make God happy, okay? Empty out some hospitals for me. Do that. I'll make you a deal. All right? Show me this magic. Show me the love of God. Show me the power of Jesus. And there's something else about it. If you believe in Jesus, you're a disciple and all these kind of things, that you can have powers too of healing, right? Isn't that supposed to be something in there too? Let me see it. Let me see it. I'm all for it. And we'll go to church together. The day everybody skips out that hospital.
Across all of society. But it's usually a reflection of the amount that they've allowed themselves to drift away from God. You know, Christ said, look at that Tower of Siloam. It fell on a bunch of people and killed 18 of them. Boom, disaster, random, just out of the blue. He said, do you think you're protected from that same type of random disaster? Do you think you're any better than those people?
Nope. But you do. You think that God does everything. Isaiah, I am the Lord. I do all things. I bring the good, I bring the bad. I bring calamity, I bring disaster, I bring prosperity, good and bad. Good or evil. There's a lot of different translations. It's the opposites. God does them all. So when that tower fell and killed those 18 people and Jesus said, well, things just happened, wrong. Jesus is supposed to know that book so well. He impressed the rabbis or whoever of the day with his knowledge of it. He should have known that God does all things. It's in the Bible. Isn't Jesus God and Son of God and somehow a Holy Ghost? Ooh. Oh, speaking of, don't we have an emoji? Where is? There we go. There we go. Okay. Ghost emoji. There we go. We got a Holy Ghost emoji. But somehow though, excuse me. Somehow though, God does all things except when that tower fell on those people and killed them. Then he doesn't do all things. Like, well, I suppose it was demons. Is that what it was? Hello, Simos. Good to see you. The Romans made the first Christian billboard. Absolutely. And Austin, hey, how you doing, Austin? Honestly, I would to have a cockroach's durability. Oh yeah, I mean, I don't have any problem being called a cockroach. Been around since what, before the dinosaurs or something, and they're still going. And it last. You put them in a microwave, and they're one of those kind of indestructible things unless they get stepped on, and then it kind of goes out the window. But yeah, those and scorpions and some of those things, they can go through being boiled and microwaved and frozen and all kind of things, and they still crawl out of it or whatever. Pretty amazing. Yeah, but they're easy to step on. See, that's the thing, though. See, that's the lesson. Achilles' heel, right? There's always a weakness. Achilles didn't have to exist. His mother didn't have to dip him, or I think it was his mother, dipped him in the, and left the vulnerable spot and all that. It's a nice story, but it didn't have to really happen for you to learn that, yeah, there's always that vulnerability, right? So as amazing as they are, you can squish them. Checking the chat here. Yeah, on longevity, I'll go with the roaches. Oh yeah, they are. They're tough. Well, ask anybody that's dealt with them. Ask how many exterminator companies are in business because of them, right? Yep, them and their cousins in that bug. What is it? Families, genus, whatever. Not really good on those kind of things. That's what we got Austin for.
He said, no, you're not. But unless you repent, unless you seek God's mercy every single day and thank him every single day.
See, there it is. I have to thank him every single day for making me. That's what I was asking earlier, and you answered it. I appreciate that. And you know what? I got a problem with that. I said thank you. How many times do I have to say it? Does God really need to hear me say, oh, thank you, 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 thank you? You know what? I think if I was God, I'd get sick of hearing it. It's like once is enough. You said it. You're covered. It's like when you get a gift and you say thank you. Somebody holds the door for you. You say thank you. So it's a one-time exchange. That's it. Tell the vision from Jesus. Well, when I have a vision from Jesus, I'll tell him. Appreciate the tip, Wesley. Wait a minute, I can't. Stop moving. Okay. Standard deviation. I'll meet your bet on the roaches, and I will raise you double that with my bet on tardigrades. Oh, yeah. Amazing thing. They've survived in space. They've been exposed to outer space. They're amazing. But, they can get squished too. Yeah, I've got a couple microscope videos I've done. I need to do some more. I need to get my stuff out. I'm on the hunt for a tardigrade. I found a bunch of other critters. No tardigrade yet, but the way I understand it, it's just the luck of the right drop on the slide, right? But I got lots of moss around here. Supposedly that's a good place to find them. And I'm hoping to spot one of these days. The other little thingies I have found, the rotifer and all that, those are pretty neat too. Achilles was a dip chitter, and his mom was a chit dipper. Yeah, she was in the river Styx or something. She dipped him to magic powers or something, but where she held on to him was vulnerable. Yeah, so you always get out of luck. Oh, Joe's apartment. Thanks for the reminder. It is. It's Joe's apartment. I didn't think about that at the time, but yeah, you're right, Austin. Now I remember.
Oh, but I don't want to be a slave to God. It says after you've given your heart over to God, after you've worshiped God, after you thank God, you say, We've done our duty. We're unprofitable servants. See, people have this idea that God is somebody.
Patrick, again, make up your mind, man. You just said you have to spend every day thinking and praying to God. And now you're saying, no, you don't have to be a slave to it. Well, that's pretty much it. If you got to spend every day thanking God, you're kind of a slave to it, Patrick. Make up your mind. Do I got to do one or the other? See, I'm confused again. You told me earlier I was good with Jesus. If I'm a decent person, Jesus says, oh, okay, you're all right. I don't have to worry about you. Make up your mind, Patrick. You're not going to win me over, man. You're not. Come on. You're supposed to be winning me over. I don't think he's trying to win me over.
That they can push around, manipulate, say, go here, do this, do that for me. No, God is above. We're below. We are of the earth. God is from above. Just like Christ is so far above us, God is, take that, we can't even fathom. We can't even fathom. And yet we're trying to think, oh, I don't need God. I'm better than that. God, your God is no good. You're no good. Your morality sucks. You're this, you're that, you're the other thing, and you, and then of course.
Patrick. See, this is where you need some notes because you lost me. Let's try this again. 24:17. All right, I'm gonna give you a second shot on this because you totally lost me. You really did.
Do that for me. No, God is above. We're below.
Okay, God is above and we're below. Okay, I got you. God's up there and I'm down here.
We are of the earth. God is from above. Just
right. I got that part. God's up there in Magic Land and I'm on the earth. Okay.
Like Christ is so far above us, God is.
Jesus is above us too in Magic Land. Okay.
Take that. We can't even fathom. We can't.
Well, you just explained it, Patrick. How can you not fathom it if you just explained it? You just said we're here and they're up there. I think you explained it.
Even fathom, and yet we're trying to think, oh, I don't need God. I'm better.
This is where you lost me. We can't fathom that, so we can't believe in God. See, I understand what you're saying, Patrick. We're mortal, we're on earth. God is a supernatural being living in Magic Land. But I don't accept that.
Than that, God, your God is no good. You're no good. Your morality.
Yes, I can look at the Bible and say, your God commands horrible things.
He sucks. You're this, you're that, you're the thing, and you, and then of course they bring up all the philosophical arguments. Oh, you're ad hominem attacking, and you're this, and the favorite one day is you're showing your true colors now, aren't you? This.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to point out in this video, Patrick. That you're supposed to be the fruit of the tree. People are supposed to say, "Wow, that Patrick's all right." You know, I like listening to that, Patrick. When Patrick talks, I can sure hear the spirit of Jesus in him. It's so wonderful. But you're calling people cockroaches, and you're making jokes about hating them. And again, it's all funny, but I mean, I think you're a piss poor example. How about that?
Passive aggressive. They'll come out with something vicious themselves, but then they'll say, then they'll back up and say, "Oh my, aren't you all upset? Aren't you? Didn't I push your button?" And this passive aggressive, what?
Again, Patrick, you seem to like stirring up the trouble. I think that's what it is. You like to say controversial things, knowing that people will respond with controversial attitudes, according to you. And that's all good. I mean, a lot of us make content that way, right? We're trying to get a response out of people. We want people to get a response out. We want them to say, "Yeah, I felt something, about these issues. I laughed about something because Magic Zoo boats are funny. I got some information from, all the great scientists and great minds that are on the internet and all that good stuff. Sure.
whatever. You're going to get that. You're going to get that from anti-theists. And anti-theists are all over the place because they hate on anything that indicates they may have a responsibility towards God, and that is what they hate above everything else. They don't want any.
Well, of course, if you're, again, anti-theism, you don't want anything to do with God or the Bible, which is back to atheists, and we don't follow that. Yes, but we don't hate it. We don't hate God. We don't hate you, all this kind of nonsense. You're just setting up a persecution complex, Patrick.
Anything to represent truth, righteousness. They want their own morality, and that's why they very often.
You know, we had an interesting discussion on Simos's channel the other day about morality. One of the interesting things that I took away from it is I think there's a line between preference and morality. You know, some people think so many things are morality, but it was an interesting point, and I think, yeah, you know what? You can say that something is moral or not, but I don't think most people will agree on that long list. I think the list has part of it that's more in the preferences category, that you can prefer this or that without being immoral. Whereas there does seem to be a line where it reaches an objective morality where people say, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that, you know? So saying that this morality, especially from the Bible, and that morality can't be interpreted, well, we can go back to, you know, as I said earlier, Israel doesn't follow a lot of those laws in the Bible anymore. So why should I?
Not always, but very often will jump in with full force, with as much energy as they can to anything that would provide a substitute morality for worshiping God.
We have a substitute morality, Patrick. It's called, you know, laws in a free society that aren't really based on any religion at all. Now, you can claim a couple things from the Bible, but I can also point out that most of the Bible's laws are not in our laws, and the few that are seem to be pretty much, again, universal towards an objective. I don't want to say completely objective, but it leans objective. That, you know, you don't steal, you don't unalive somebody. You know, there's certain things that we agree on, especially harming other people. But again, this isn't unique to you, and it isn't unique to just religions, because there are cultures and creeds and ideals aplenty that are non-religious that also say things like, don't hurt people.
Such as worshiping the earth, such as worshiping their pets and animals.
I'm not worshiping the earth or my pets or my animals, Patrick. I don't know where you get this nonsense from. He said this before, something about my Grim Reaper statue. I had a picture of it, and Mike at Answers in Atheism said, hey, can I use that picture for a video? I said, yeah, sure. And he had this whole thing figured out with strings and tacks all over the wall about my Grim Reaper statue. And I was like, no. I said, so I explained it. I put a comment back, and I said, I have a Grim Reaper, and behind it is a middle finger that's lit up. All right, it's flipping off the Grim Reaper because my mom is gone, my dad is gone, and my brother is gone. So you know who's next in the queue? That's me. And for right now, I'm flipping off the Grim Reaper, okay? It had nothing to do with this conspiracy theory he thought up about us worshiping death and skeletons and all kind of nonsense. Just ask. Just ask, okay? And I'm not worshiping it. I'm flipping off the Grim Reaper until that day when I lose.
Such as, take your pick, right? And I could go down that path and explain it in more detail, but I think you know what I'm talking about. So these are important things to keep.
Yeah, no. I don't know what you're talking about, Patrick. That's part of the problem. You lose me, Christians lose me, apologists lose me, your text loses me. It's all L's, no W's.
Keep in mind that the anti-theist is not your friend. They are your enemy, and they want to tear you down, and they want to make you.
Yeah, I suppose if somebody was making it personal against somebody, that would be bad. Don't do that. I don't do that. I'm not doing that. Geo Sam wants to know, define worship. Yeah, that's... Well, according to Patrick, I have to bow down every day and thank God I was born. Or I'm not worthy. And I said thank you. And if it's not your God, some other God's listening, I'm sorry. Thank you too. For whatever you did that made my mom and dad feel so romantic that one day or evening or whatever it was. I don't like to think about it too much. Austin says, thou shalt not great. Didn't make it into the 10 Commandments. 3 commandments telling you not to dare make fun of God, but not a single, hey, don't great people or own people. In fact, the Bible says if you do, you have to pay him, you give him, as long as you got 50 shekels, right? You're good to go. And then you get to marry him, which is really great. Somebody attacks you and then you got to marry him. That's just Bible morality there, Patrick. Now, again, from a naturalistic standpoint, I have to own that we have a past of our species that probably didn't date. Okay? There was a time where our species did not date. Things were just done. But society has progressed. And now it's generally accepted that you need permission. You need consent. You need to be an adult. All these kind of things. The Bible hasn't changed to keep up, Patrick. That's what I was saying earlier. It's outdated. That's a problem. You have, and you said it yourself, rules and laws and all these things set up for the people and the situation they were in to best deal with whatever they were in. It's not an ideal situation. Okay, that's just putting a Band-Aid on the crack in the dam. Okay, you're not fixing the big problem. It did work for a period of time, but none of those things, again, almost none of those laws and traditions are followed by Israel. Now, some Orthodox people will follow maybe a few more of them or something, but it's not in the laws and stuff. And when we do see some of these groups that do their own religious justice, on camera, and we all know what we're talking about, it's abhorrent. Other religious people see it that way. Yet, again, if we follow your old, so great 10 commandments, 8 of them carry a death penalty in Minecraft.
You powerless. I see a little chipmunk walking. They want to make you powerless against wanting to promote truth and righteousness for the next generation. They don't want Bibles in the school. They don't want anything to do with the Bible. They don't want anything to do with Jesus. They want their...
now you're in Canada. And yeah, deviation, how do you say it, Marduk? Thank you. Am I covered now? Have I thanked them all? Fertility goddesses and all the rest? Thank you. Oh yeah, buying and owning people, of course, that's all in the Bible. I mean, you can have concubines, you can sell your, well, not all your children, but some of your children. They're useful as a virgin. But Patrick's in Canada. We're in the United States, Patrick. And in the United States, we're supposed to function under laws, although it seems not everybody has to follow them. And in our laws and through our courts, through the interpretation of the Constitution, which is the job of the Supreme Court and other courts in the system to do, it was determined that the Bible should not be promoted in school because it's a promotion of a religion which is against the Constitution. However, the courts have also upheld kids want to take their Bible to school, they are welcome to do it. If kids want to read it on their own time, such as recess, lunch, not during class where you interrupt everybody. No, they backed them up on it. If you want to pray before you eat, the courts have backed you up on it. The kids can do all these things. There's the Christians have spoken about Muslim kids that they need to pray 5 times a day. That's an exaggeration. Really, during the day, while they're at school, I think they really only have to do one, which is about lunchtime. And again, there you go. It's already accommodated. They could have done their prayer in the morning. They could do their prayer when they get home. They get the other one in at lunchtime. That again, you're welcome to do that. The kids can do all those things. So it's not that it's thrown out. It's that it cannot be promoted in the schools. I don't know what it is in Canada, but that's what it is here, Patrick.
Own version of their pristine morality that is science-based or whatever they want to base it on, right? Anything that will prevent them from being...
I don't think our laws are science-based. I don't know what you're talking about.
answerable to God. That's what...
I'll answer to your God, Patrick. I'm not afraid about answering for myself. What worries me is people that need to be forgiven for things.
That's what they're opposed to. And so they'll be opposed to you. They'll be opposed to prayer. They'll be opposed to anything about biblical instruction or...
Nope. Once again, I pointed out, you can do your prayer at lunch. The courts will support you. As far as religious classes, both of my sons had religious classes in public school. It's part of social studies or history classes, however they... and they touch on some of the bigger religions, and they talk about it a little bit, and there you go. They don't promote any of them. It's you can hear about the Bible, the Quran, Buddhism. They have 5 or 6 of them that they cover in the class. It's the so-called bigger religions. And I remember when I was in school, we had a whole year. I think it was junior year in English class where we covered Greek and Roman mythology, which were religions. These things, I know you don't want anybody to learn about those, but we did. It's not completely out, okay? This is a radical viewpoint to make everybody say, oh, they threw it all out. No, they didn't. They're following our Constitution, Patrick. Again, I don't know what yours is, but we are following ours. Kids and teachers and everybody else can do their prayers at lunch, and they can carry their book around. They just can't tell everybody else to do it.
Stories from the Bible or stories about Jesus, and on and on and on and on and on.
Don't care.
So keep that in mind. They are agents of the enemy.
No.
The enemy, Satan, wants to destroy humanity, and they are...
And again, and if you did have only Christianity in the schools, other religions would say the same thing about you and your religion. You're doing the demonic thing to keep their religion out of the school. And that's why you don't have any in the school. Ends the problem.
Are on that side. They have chosen that they want to be a part on that side. They may not realize that because obviously they're going to say, well, I don't believe in Satan either. There's no such thing as Satan. It's all just what we see. It's all just, if you can't see it, smell it, touch it, taste it, then it doesn't exist.
Sort of. I mean, there are things we know exist that we can't really see and stuff, but yeah, pretty much. If it can be demonstrated, Patrick, then I'm good with it. Demonstrate it. Again, you made claims of amputees growing a limb back. I would love to see it. Produce the evidence. Produce good evidence, and not something that happened in a country far, far away, long time ago that don't have any medical records, no x-rays or anything else. You just have to take the word of somebody. probably a pastor that got paid to write a book about it. No. Bad, Patrick. It's just bad evidence. But you accept it because you think these things happen all the time. And surely these pastors are running around making people's limbs grow. But you know where it doesn't happen? In a hospital, where there's x-rays and doctors and documentation and witnesses. And it would surely be on the news these days, 24/7, watching the leg grow. It's not.
So they have, you know, that you have to be the most ignorant person in the world to think that a human cell, or any living cell for that matter, can come into existence on its own. Even Charles Darwin himself.
God of the gaps, Patrick. We know a lot about cells. We know that there's simple cells, there's more complex cells. There's no reason not to believe a simple cell could have became a more complex cell. And Mike has explained it before, way better than I can. That once you get, I think it's the lipids together, they can form a circle, and you can get a simple membrane, and there you go. There's the explanation. Is everything known about it? No. Will we ever be able to go back and find the one spot where it first happened? No, because it happened all over the place among a lot of reactions going on in the seas. And when it did, life took off all over the place.
Himself acknowledged that there were things he couldn't explain, but
Yes, Darwin couldn't explain some things himself, mostly because he didn't have the technology to actually see what was in cells like we do today. He knew there was something in there, but he didn't know what. Now we know there's a lot more things in the cells. But again, there are simple cells and complex cells. There are simple animals, there are more complex animals. I don't see what the problem is. You do, but I don't. If we have a simple, and I'm using layman's terms, Austin can correct me. 4 biomolecules. Oh, here, see, Austin's on it. This is why you need all these friends to help you out. Cells are composed of 4 biomolecules. All 4 of these biomolecules can be synthesized in prebiotic conditions. See, we know things, Patrick. There you go. Well, look it up. Instead of just saying scientists don't know anything, maybe punch that into the Google there and say, hey, does science know how a simple cell first formed? And you might get an answer. Pretty neat. Science gives answers. God did it is not an answer.
basic principles of survival of the fittest and natural selection that describe the way that nature works and so on and so forth. Great.
Yeah.
He did some great studies as a
Yeah.
anthropologist, as a biologist, as a
Mhm.
you know, a guy that appreciates nature, if you want to call him that. But he
Whatever you wanna
himself
call him.
acknowledged that life doesn't come from nothing, that it
I don't know anything about Darwin saying life didn't come from nothing. I think he says life comes from pre-existing forms or something like that. Don't use the nothing argument. Not around here. I'll get Deconverted Man to play the video. I had a bunch of people participated in the video. We do not think everything came from nothing. Science doesn't think everything came from nothing. As far as the laws of physics go, energy cannot be created. So, there you go, Patrick. I don't know where you're getting that from. No nothing. Something. Energy is something.
requires divine spark, divine intelligence, a intelligence beyond
That's
what can
neat.
happen just through random mixing of chemicals.
Once again, Patrick, no, you need some science lessons. We have again examples of simple species and more complex species. We have simple nervous systems. We have like, was it jellyfish? I think don't even have a brain. They just have this nervous system. You have all these different simpler systems that you can witness through different species, so to speak, of different levels of complexity. And I don't like that the argument that humans are somehow special because we can make computers and no other species can. The cockroaches you like to bring up have been very successful for a very long time. They laugh at species come and gone that thought they were all that. And they might just do it again on us, Patrick. Yes, we are, we have the ability to do great technology. We can think of these things and we can build these things. But does that really make us special? Or does what make you special is that you've survived mass extinctions over and over and over again, and you're still here? What does the cockroach think about? I don't know. Does the cockroach think about anything? I don't know. But if it does, it's laughing at you, Patrick, thinking you're all that. It's laughing at all of us. It's probably in the walls behind you there. Yeah, I do. I see some there. Yeah, it looks like they're right behind you, Patrick. They're behind you laughing. Yes, they are.
Which is impossible to create life.
It's impossible to create life. I'm alive, Patrick. There has to be a process that does it.
It's a very complicated thing, and you don't have to be a genius to figure that out, right? So
You don't have to be a genius to figure that out. Wiser words never said, Patrick. Let's see, check the chat here. Yeah, there's things about natural selection. But yeah, and we were speaking about it before, I think with Mike, that there is some natural selection that goes along with the origin of life, and simple cells would be selected for, so to speak, on which ones made it. So it seems to be that what we know is, as soon as the Earth cooled and there was liquid water, there was microscopic fossils or microscopic species all over the place, and we found their fossils. So life just took off. Seems like everything was primed and ready. What set it all off just seems to be when you have the right conditions, you get the right chemistry. And that seems to be how chemistry is explained, as far as I know it. If you mix chemicals in certain proportions in a certain way under certain conditions, they form certain things. Again, I'm a layman, but high school chemistry, that kind of explains it. I don't need to know all the fancy things, and I don't need to explain everything to you. But it seems that chemistry can. It doesn't seem to be magical.
thank you so much for watching. I've really gone on a long
Thank you,
time in this
Patrick.
video because I'm hoping
You did
time I
go
make
on a long
video
way.
about atheism, I'm hoping that it'll be the last one that I don't have to
No, it
keep
won't.
repeating myself over and over again. But they keep coming out. They keep coming out. The cockroaches keep coming out, and they're like,
And cockroaches keep, you know what? Patrick's just out to stamp out those cockroaches.
We love
I buried those cockroaches!
Sorry about that. And now I got to play it.
We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast.
Okay. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Where was I? Oh, yeah, cockroaches. Now I'm going to get back on track.
I buried those cockroaches!
All right, Patrick. You're out to get those cockroaches, and we're here for it. And I hope you've been a good sport about this. I did tag you in this, so, if you check it out. I was going to just make a short little video, but then I figured, you know what? You'd say something like, well, I didn't listen to your whole video. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to watch the whole dang video, and I'm going to comment on the whole dang video. And that's what I'm doing. And it's got about just a little blip left, because even though he said, okay, he's going to wrap it up, he wasn't quite done yet. So we get an encore. And I appreciate the encore. So I'm glad you approved, Kafai. We love toast and Scarface. What a combo. It's a good combo, isn't it? I mean, dang. I mean, it's hard to top, really. And that's the kind of entertainment you get here at the Captive Desk. And don't forget, like, share, subscribe with a bell so you know when I come on with stuff like this. And if you care to, you can become a member as well. Hit the join button. You get all the emojis, early videos, member videos, all that kind of good stuff. And I appreciate everybody. Everybody in the chat, everybody that watches. I check my stats every once in a while, and there's a bunch of people watching my stuff. I really appreciate it. And speaking of, I just crossed like 50,000 views. 50,000 views. That's awesome. And that's, because all you folks out there that, are, I hope, at least somewhat entertained by my content and trying to have a good time and having a few laughs. And for all of you out there that watch my videos, are members, subscribers, you're in the chats regularly. I appreciate all of you. And you know what?
You rock, let's rock with the fire in our veins. Rock on till the skies, till the thunder and rain. All hail Bigfoot, the legend, the king. He walks among shadows, the wild spirits sing.
And thank you, Simos. Appreciate it. And GeoSam, I watch all your stuff. I appreciate GeoSam, and I appreciate your videos too. I've learned a thing or two. And one of the tools I use is GIMP. And if you want a lot of good tips on GIMP, make sure you check out GeoSam's channel. He gives a lot of those little tips on how you do things over there. May help you out, Patrick, when you want to do some fancy graphics and put some bugs in there. And yeah, please do. Please hit that like button and all those kind of good things. And when the video ends, if you drop a comment when I'm done that said, hey, thanks for the laugh, Dave, I really appreciate it. It helps the algorithm, all those good things that us content creators are about. You learn about all these things. These little things helps us out a lot, really does. If you leave a comment, it helps the channel out. So if you watched a video, and I'm just not saying mine, you watch any video, and you like, that was funny, or I learned something, or whatever, put it in the comments. Even if there's a bunch of comments, whatever, it doesn't matter. Put it in there, helps them out. If there's no comments, make sure you put it in there, because you're helping them out. Hail Bigfoot to the next 50K. I'm on my way. We'll see how many folks stop by here today, and I might be on again later with the Night Watch. We'll see. I've already got everything set up, so maybe I'll be back in a little while. And of course, Saturday night at the Atheists, every Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you haven't heard, I'm going to the ARC protest in a couple weeks. So I hope to have something live from there, whatever. I don't know. I'll play with my phone, see what we can do. There'll at least be pictures. And a lot, I'm sure a lot of other people. There's going to be plenty of people there. So hopefully we should have good coverage. Austin, you still going to the protest? I know Austin was talking about going. Yeah. All right. Hell yeah. Good. Apes together, strong. Great line. It's a great line. It is. I love Planet of the Apes movies. I own most of them. Yeah. I go back, when they had the first Planet of the Apes series out, it was just like, wow, this is so great. Even though now it's kind of, a little cheesy on the makeup, everything. In the day, though, it with the imagination going along with it, I loved watching it. I watched them over and over and over and over again. So when they brought it back, with a lot better CGI and everything. It was like, oh yes, this is so awesome. Love Planet of the Apes. Welcome back, Tori. And yeah, and don't forget, yeah, the ARC protest is coming up July 6th. I'm going to be there the night before. Other folks are going to be there, I guess, maybe Friday too. So there's going to be other things going on. Jess was talking about making sure she's entertaining everybody with games to play. There's talking about having a get together before, after, all kind of those kind of good things too. So you'll be able to socialize with people and all that good stuff as well. And Tori is a member for 2 months. And you know what that means.
You rock, let's rock with the fire in our veins. Rock on to the skies, to the thunder and rain. All hail Bigfoot, the legend, the king. He walks among shadows, the wild spirits sing.
And thanks, Tori, and everybody that joins the channel. Appreciate all the support. Really do, means a lot. And if you had a good laugh, I'm happy. Okay, I try to have some fun here, and kind of my niche, right? I'm not a scientist. I'm not a theologian. There's so many channels that handle that stuff way better than I do. I'm here to have some fun and poke some fun at these videos and put cockroaches all over them. So if you like that and you had a laugh, then if not, that's fine too. Okay, now, humor is subjective, right? All right, Patrick, you gonna end it again a couple more times. Patrick's like one of those folks that says, "I gotta go," and they're still at your house a couple hours later.
Oh, this, that, and they keep picking at me. And I guess some of them I can ignore, or some of them I could just delete. But it opens my eyes to the amount of anti-Christian hate, anti-God hate that exists in the world today. A lot of it from England. That's the source of the.
England's to blame. I'll have to let Zach know.
A learning center of Oxford and Cambridge, and the
they have a lot of theologians that went there too. I've heard several of them that have cited they went to those same schools and everything, and so I don't know what your point is there either. There are religious and non-religious people that go there. There's Alex O'Connor who took theology or whatever there. I don't know what you're talking about, Patrick.
satanic influence that permeates those institutions through people like Richard Dawkins and Christopher Hitchens, and you can see the effect that is having on their empire. It was once an empire as little as 100 years ago. The early 1920s, the British Empire, ruled half the earth. Where are they today?
Oh, you want to bring up some history? Okay, Rome owned a big chunk of the world back in one day, and then they adopted Christianity, and look where they are now. Doesn't really mean much, does it, Patrick? You can go either way, and you can use other religions too. Other religions have built other countries or whatever, and okay, just what's there at the time.
Zero, nothing. Their country is left in shambles. Their prime minister is an atheist, and they're following into the path of complete self-annihilation.
Well, I think England's doing all right. I don't think they're in complete shambles. Great Britain, United Kingdom, Simos can correct me on the right terminology. They seem to be doing all right. I don't see where they're falling apart like shambles and all this stuff. Now, granted, they're not the world power that they used to be. And neither is Rome. Rome's like just the Vatican anymore. It's like nothing. England, United Kingdom, they're still a big country. Okay. Your church, if you want to go, I know you probably don't like Catholics, but if you go back with the Catholics, okay, huge empire. Now you just got like the Vatican. That's about it. Pretty small. So, and not that it means anything. Things rise and fall, and that seems to be the way of things.
So, you want to go live in England? Good luck with that.
People go to live in England, and I don't see what the problem is. You just mentioned some schools there. I don't know how they're rated or whatever, but they seem to be very big on the list of schools to go to. So, I mean, they have things there, Patrick, like great education and health care.
Anyhow, that's all I've got for today. So God bless you. Thank you for watching.
Said that once already.
And for those that are already believers, thank you for listening. And I pray that you're encouraged by these words that I'm sharing with you. Because when somebody wakes up and realizes that these atheists have nothing.
So you're not really done, right? Okay. Keep going. Another encore. All right, I'm in for it.
They have no argument. They just spin the same stories over and over again to convince themselves and to try and protect what little autonomy they have. They're so terrified that someone might make them responsible to go.
No, I said it already. I'm responsible. I got to own it. If I do something, I have to own it. And that's why I don't do terrible things, because then I would have to own it. It would bother me, Patrick. Okay? Now, I've had thoughts. We all have thoughts. Person cuts you off in traffic. Person wronged you. Person really, really, really wronged you in some horrible way, and you might have thoughts. But you don't do it. Some people do. But most of us don't. Most people can manage to control themselves. Most people can control themselves around young people. Most people can control themselves around the opposite sex. Most people can control themselves when they think, you know, should I steal that off the shelf or should I pay for it? Most people manage to do these things, Patrick. Doesn't seem some magical thing that you have to pray to Jesus every day. Nor is there proof that this somehow makes you immune. Our jails are overflowing with Christians, disproportionate to the population. And you know what goes the other way in jails, Patrick? Atheists. There's hardly any of them there. Because like me, I don't want to go to jail. It's that simple. I don't know where you think that I'm doing all these terrible things, or that I want to.
God and say, Jesus would call you to your face a sinner, a hypocrite.
No, you said earlier in this video, and I'm going to call you on it, Patrick. You said if I'm a good guy like your atheist friend, and folks that missed this, okay, go back and watch the beginning. He said, and hello everybody in the chat. Sorry, I'm trying to wrap things up. I appreciate all the comments though. You said earlier your atheist friend was basically a good guy, and you said Jesus said, well, the righteous people are okay. I got to worry about the unrighteous. So now you're saying Jesus is going to have a problem with me? You're contradicting yourself, Patrick. I'm calling you on it. You said if I'm a good person, like your atheist friend, then Jesus thinks I'm okay. And you thought that was okay. That if you're a good person, it's okay. So I'm good by you. I'm good by Jesus. So I don't think Jesus is going to get in my face. He might say something to you about calling people cockroaches. But I'm a pretty good person. I don't, you know, I have to own some of the stupid little things I did, mostly just, you know, stupid things. But nothing terribly wrong. I've only been married once to the same person. You're supposed to celebrate that kind of stuff. You know, I'm one of the folks that stayed married. I got down on one knee. You know, I did the whole thing. got married in a church. All right. And that also means that what I do in the privacy of my own bedroom is my own damn business, including by you and your religion, because I'm married. So keep your nose out of it. Take care of my kids. There was a time I wore tennis shoes with holes in them to make sure my kids had, you know, new stuff and toys and all that. I did all that stuff. Luckily, I'm a little better off now, but no holes in my shoes today. But there was a time, and I did all those things. I was the parent, you know, I did all my things. I'm not a bad guy. I don't know why you think I'm a cockroach or a scumbag. I don't know why you think I'm doing terrible things. I don't know why you think I'm attacking theists. I don't do that. I'm not attacking. I don't go to churches and bother people. I don't do that. Now, I will point out again, I am responding to you because you made a video called Atheists Are Not Atheists. So you're inviting it, Patrick. All right. So there you go. And I hope you can wrap it up with a little bit better than that. Yeah, I want to sin. Yeah, if I wanted to sin, I'd become a Christian. I'd get forgiven for it. See, that don't make no sense either, right? They got the easy way out. You know, they just get forgiven. They don't have to own it. They don't have to make up for it. They don't have to serve time for it. They don't have to pay damages. Nothing. They just get forgiven. I have to own all that stuff. And be a lot easier to just be forgiven for it. Especially anybody that's had legal issues, court fines, any of that stuff. Can't I just be forgiven? Wouldn't, you know, just like Jesus? But they don't do that, do they? No, they don't do that.
Right? What would you think about that? How would you respond to him? Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me coming to me. I'm a sinner and a hypocrite. And I ask God to forgive me of my sins and my hypocrisy. But what?
Well, don't do that. See, if you don't do that, then you don't have to be constantly forgiven for it. You see the cycle you're in?
If Jesus called you that to your face, how would you respond to him? He's the one that you're responsible to, not me.
I got no problem with Jesus. I have a lot. If the Bible stories are in any way true, I have a lot in common with Jesus. I think we would get along on most things. I don't know if he'd get along with you.
You're responsible to God and the Messiah. So, God bless you.
I'm responsible to the Messiah too. First of all, Jesus is not the Messiah. Yeah, he may be the anointed one, but he's not the Messiah that the Jews are looking for. That's a whole other video. He did not fulfill the prophecies, and it's why the Jewish people are still waiting. You don't know who he is. I don't know how I'm supposed to please him. There's always supposed to be one in waiting, but, you know, I don't know who it is. It's the same thing with the 12th Imam and the Mahdi and everything that one guy's proclaiming himself to be and everything. It's supposed to be like kind of like a hidden thing, and then they're supposed to show up at the right time. They're not supposed to show up when the time isn't happening. And supposedly these things are supposed to happen when it's the end of the world. You're going to have the great battle. Islam, Christianity all have similar stories. It's going to be this great big battle when the second coming happens. So this guy coming out and announcing he is, without all these things happening, doesn't seem to follow the prophecy. What does seem to follow the prophecy is, I don't know who the Messiah is, because he's just some person in waiting. So I don't know how I'm supposed to please him. It's a little confusing. Maybe you could explain it back to me sometime, Patrick. I would appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to spend time with people you love. And hopefully, this will be the last video on that topic. I doubt it. But we'll see how it goes. Thanks a lot for watching. God bless you. We'll talk to you soon, okay? Take care. Bye for now. Love you lots. Bye-bye.
All right. What a great ending. I love you lots too, Patrick. And will this be... All right. Stop. Oh, yeah. Button distracted me. These buttons, they get so happy. There should be a little delay, you know, before it starts going on to something else, so you can hit the button before things move and change places. Anyway. What was the ending on? I forgot. I'm gonna have to listen to it again.
You're responsible to God and the Messiah. So
Yeah, no, I'm not. Okay.
God bless you. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to spend time with people you love.
Oh, that's right. That's what it was. That he hopes he doesn't have to make another video about atheists. Well, you've made a bunch of them, Patrick. So I'm laying odds you'll make another one. And maybe you'll make one responding to me. And then I can make more cockroach artwork. That would be fun. Oh, Patrick, I do appreciate your video. I appreciate everybody that stopped by reviewing Patrick's video. I appreciate all the members and subscribers and all you great folks. And I hope you had a good time. Patrick's done, so I'm done. I might be back later. We'll see. I get something to eat and see how things are going around here. Take care of some business. So maybe I'll be on later. If I am, I usually do it around 9 p.m. Eastern. That's the night watch. And the good thing about that is the videos are all short. So you don't have to suffer through all this like we did here today. And again, I was going to make a short video, but every couple things he said, I was saying something, and I just couldn't make a short video. So I did a stream on it. That's how it is. And we'll see if Patrick has anything to say back. But the night watches, I just do short videos. So boom, 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 we move right along. We take them down, okay? And again, Saturday night at the Atheists, every Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern, with a panel of atheists, a lot of great folks joining in. And we always have, well, you never know. There's been so many different folks that have joined in with us. Do appreciate everybody that comes in and is a guest panelist with us. That's a lot of fun too. And yes, I will be at the ARC protest in a couple weeks. And yeah, it's going to be a bunch of great people there. Looking forward to doing all that. Whatever events or live streams or whatever's going on, I'm not sure. I know different people have talked about doing some things, so who knows? It might be on some other streams as well during the event down there. That's 4th of July weekend in Kentucky. And if you want any information, make sure you go to the Kentucky Atheist, especially if you go on to the Kentucky Atheist Discord. He's got his own little section down there where it gives you all the ARC info, where to stay, what's going on, the ads, who's going to be there. And I know Joe's been hard at work here. He's going to have more stuff coming out to let everybody know what's going on. So we'll see you all in a couple weeks. And what else is, make sure you look for me over at Simos's channel on Thursdays, 5 Eastern. I'm usually over there having some great discussions with Simos as well. And I saw Simos stopping through. Always good to see Simos. And with that, I think we'll call it. Thanks, everybody, and have a good one.
Tales of lore knocking at the captive desk's door. Oh, legends live within these walls, silent echoes in the halls, books and stories on the floor, knocking at the captive desk's door. Oh, captive desk, hold our dreams, where reality and all myth seems. In conversations, quiet flow, the mysteries untold will know. shadows in the halls, books and stories on the floor. Knocking at the captive text. Nerves are wide, hearts are keen. Pages turn to secret scene. Ancient maps and hidden lore.